I'm Dave Lefkowitz here with you a little earlier than usual. Happy to be here. Generally, I host Dave's Gone By at 11 o'clock on Sunday nights, and I'll be here doing that tonight, including special guest Paul Tracey, the South African songwriter, musicologist, very, very cool guy. Don't miss that. That's an hour from now on Dave's Gone By. But between now and then, I'm also here live with you to have fun, to talk. We'll take some phone calls, and I've got a very, very special guest who has spent the last 10 minutes trying to open the lid of his plastic coffee cup. It's actually kind of funny here. His name is Joe Salzone, and
it's been a long time, Dave, since I've had 7-Eleven coffee.
Yeah.
And I forgot how Pernickety,
yes, Pernickety, yes.
No, it's actually Pernickety.
No, is it really?
It's Pernickety is the anglicized version
Ooh.
of a word that has Scottish origins.
I did not know that.
Yes.
And what does it mean? The same
fussy,
meaning.
Someone who's a fussy person.
So, are you being fussy, or is the cup very fussy?
I am fussy about Pernickety coffee lids.
I don't blame you. Yeah, because you were twisting that thing. All you want to do is get the thing up to get a sip of the darn coffee.
You know, I normally use the lids with the very tiny hole that requires no opening of said lid.
That's kind of how you date, also. Yeah,
That
okay.
is how I date, actually.
Yeah.
But I don't like those because you can't take a big gulp out of those.
Yeah, you have to sip through those little bitty straw things.
So it's like we can put them out on the mood allegedly, but we cannot make a lid of a coffee lid that doesn't waste 10 minutes of my life that I will never get back.
That's right.
Jesus God.
Well, maybe does it make you appreciate the coffee more? Like if it was so easy,
know.
if you just took the lid off
Let's
real
find
easy.
out.
Maybe the fact that you have to work for it. And?
I've had better. I'm so used to New York City coffee.
Was it cold by the time you got to it? Or?
No, that's the one thing I hate about the what are these? What is the material of this cup?
It looks like paper, a kind of
I hate paper cups. They don't retain heat very well. I like styrofoam cups because I hate the environment.
I'm also sorry you can actually hold them with your fingers. You don't need to double the cup or to use those wraparound cardboard things.
Yeah.
I understand how that's more, good for the environment when you're just chopping down more trees to make paper.
I was in Starbucks on Saturday.
Yeah.
In Oakdale with my very best friend, and we
Wait, what? I thought...
Sorry, Dave.
Oh.
No, Joyce is now number 2 on my list. Your wife, for clarification.
That's right, yes.
To the 6 people paying attention right now, we observed on the sleeve, I guess, for the coffee cup that it was made of like 10%, I think, recycled good.
10%,
and I'm thinking, that's great. So I'm 90% annoyed that I'm using someone else's coffee sleeve. It's disgusting. Recycled from what, though? It could be It could be like used toilet paper.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be any kind of. I don't mind that.
That's why I always carry hand sanitizer with me.
I mean, I recycle toilet paper if I'm,
Well, that's because you work at WGBB.
That's right.
Where I spent 5 years of my life.
Yeah, there were bad years.
No, it was a great time. You and I, because we've worked together a lot.
Yeah.
In many different contexts.
Sexual context.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when we were back in '98 doing Clinton coverage, long before I was even in radio.
Yeah.
But you and
or
I.
me. Yeah.
Right. We reenacted a lot of the Ken Starr report.
Right.
And I would like my blue dress back.
Back, would you? Yeah. Oh well, I can make your blue dress black too. I mean, it's a little shoe polish.
Come again?
I did. Thank you very much. Oh, we can reenact. We can go into the bathroom here and reenact that other congressman.
What's
his name?
Larry Craig.
Larry Craig.
Of Idaho.
Yeah. Mr. Foot Tappy Tap Man.
I was using the bathroom at Sirius Satellite Radio.
Yeah.
Where you can listen to me Monday through Friday. Indie Talks.
What time?
I have no idea. Anywhere. I anchor and then I host.
Okay.
I anchor on Pete Dominic's show. He's a comedian.
So wait, what is the difference between anchoring and hosting?
Hosting, I get more airtime. Anchoring, it's like 2 minutes of news. It's
so
like
you read the news,
right? Well, I write the news and then I read it. It's based entirely. I've tried explaining. I try explaining this to people without sounding like it's a boring job. It's not your traditional style of news radio. Not in the sense that, like, here's what's happened in Washington today, here's what's happened in Iraq today.
Okay.
It is, the sourcing involved is entirely blogs.
So you have to qualify everything with, like, this may be completely untrue.
I'm basically going against everything I've learned in the last 7 years and reporting what amounts to innuendo and opinion. Like, for example, one of the biggest blogs is, of course, the Huffington Post, which has an overtly liberal slant.
Sure.
So I would qualify certain things by saying, so-and-so on the Huffington Post wrote today about President Bush. The liberal author went on to say that Bush is the worst president in the history of the galaxy.
So you're not really reporting news; it's opinion.
I'm reporting what blogs are talking about, and it's so odd because they also tell us that you don't want to do more than like 2 or 3 lines for a story. So it's literally a snapshot of like 4 or 5 blogs 3 times an hour.
3 times an hour?
Yeah.
Okay,
every 20, it's like almost like 2020 news that you might hear on other stations that still.
You mean like WINS kind of thing, where it's where they do the summary first?
It's not. No, because it's literally just a summary. There's nothing really too in depth about it. It's a lot like. I'm trying to think of how to compare it, but there really is no comparison. That is why it is, one, for me in the beginning, difficult to do because there was no template involved. You were just told to, do your best.
Okay. Actually,
now,
that's kind of fun.
Right, I've gotten the hang of it now.
Yeah.
I can now. It's a lot like when I was doing news, traditional news. I read, I don't know, like the first couple paragraphs of a blog. I don't have time to read the entire thing.
No, of course not. A blog, and then, it takes 10 minutes to load some of these blogs.
Right.
It's all on one page.
And they're like, by my count, there are at least 3 blogs on the internet. At least 3.
Really? You think?
Maybe definitely more than 5.
There were 7, but one shut down over because of the economy. But
yeah, that's true.
They ran out of keys on their keyboard.
They
give several of them back.
That is very true. It's so unusual. It is so unique. Mm-hmm. I can't think of any radio outlet, terrestrial or otherwise, that is doing something like that. It makes indie talk.
Indie talk, or
it's indie short for independent.
Yes, yeah, I get that.
Politics,
right?
For people who hate politics. Politics without the semantics. We're not going to sit there and tell you what a group of voters in Iowa or why they voted for Barack Obama.
Okay.
That's not what we're doing. We're going to take almost like a bullet point approach to politics. It's very like, here's a group of friends just talking about Iraq. That's the sense you get when you listen to it.
Oh.
We're not experts.
Is it just political, or do you also do entertainment or sports, or
this? There are a lot of branches within politics. You can cover the entertainment angle.
Who supports who?
Right.
Yeah.
Or SNL now that they're back after the writers' strike, they have parodied pretty well the Democratic debates, painting Hillary Clinton to look like a whiny little girl and Barack Obama to look like a great orator, but totally empty and void of any substance. Both incredibly true. Although I would,
middle of the road.
I would vote for Barack Obama in November just to say that I single-handedly ended racism in this country. And I think that is probably the single best thing I have ever done in my almost 24 years on this.
Well, you could vote for Sherman Hemsley. That would do the same thing.
Well, I can't find him. I don't go to the East Side that often.
Oh well. I don't even know what that means. To the deluxe apartment.
Wow.
I blew that one. My mistake. But
yes, you certainly did.
Yeah,
you pull a Lewinsky. That's what we call a callback in the comedy world. Not that I'm a comedian. A callback is a reference to something that was earlier discussed. I've learned a great deal in my life.
Well, because you've been doing radio I'm amazed you learned that much working here when you were here at GBB, at NYG, where the other station where you were after WGBB for about 2 years. I don't know how much was to learn there.
Over 2 years.
There were some people there with a lot of radio experience, and you probably learned a bit from them.
Absolutely. I've learned in my time, because it's amazing to say at 23 I've done radio for almost 8 years. I know. And just now on full-time basis, finally, like for the first time.
And one day you'll actually be good at it, which will really be exciting.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
I want to reach Dave Lefkowitz caliber of radio.
Oh.
Which is to say, doing this for absolutely nothing. And getting nothing out of it except
joy and
joy, BJ's, whatever.
BJ's being the shopping club that we
right, there's Sam's Club as well.
Yeah.
I'm so used to satellite radio.
Oh, so you can...
I got to say the F word on a couple shows ago. I was quoting someone, but I hesitated first. You know me, I don't curse off air that often.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
You Dave Lefkowitz, the Dave that we all have come to accept on radio, is actually a somewhat toned down version of the Dave that I personally enjoy being around, especially when he doesn't have pants on.
And being under,
Yes, or going under.
You are getting used to satellite radio, man.
Has the FCC shut us down yet?
No,
I'm talking to my imaginary intern.
We're under the radar here.
Way under the radar.
So how many people put together the blog show? Is it in the doc or in the talk?
Talk.
T-A-L-K.
I have a bit of a cold, so my ability to communicate is now on par with Reagan and his Alzheimer's.
Oh,
or yours.
We start bombing.
Yeah, I'm going to offend everyone.
Good.
That's my goal in the next 45 minutes. I'm finally taking the Lefkowitz approach.
By the way, can we take some phone calls too? And have
sure. If you need help with your phone, we can help you.
631-888-8811. If you have a cell phone problem, ladies and gentlemen, 631-888-8811 is the number at WGBB. Talk to me, Dave Lefkowitz. Talk to my guest, Joe Salzone of Sirius Radio, and his show, Indie Talk, which he anchors and hosts.
No, and the channel is Indie Talk.
Oh, the channel's Indie Talk.
There are two shows.
Okay.
The one that I serve as blogcaster, which, by the way, I can skew it a little bit. It's not a straightforward newscast. I can be snarky if I want.
No.
I'm actually allowed to have a point of view now. It's so liberating. After 7 years of saying, here's the news from Washington.
Totally objective, or as objective as it can be.
I can now, and I have so many times said, I voted for Ron Paul in the New York primary, but I don't agree with everything Ron Paul says.
Cool. Now, let me ask, how long is the show?
Pete's show is 3 hours long, 2 to 5. Pete Dominic, the guy who hosts the show on which I serve as broadcaster.
Okay, so you come on like a couple of times an hour.
3 times an hour.
3 times an hour for 3 hours. So you do about 9 segments over the course of a show. Okay.
7 of which are actually written. The last 2 I just,
Oh, okay.
I basically take old scripts and put them together. Same thing I did here.
Now, when does Pete's show air again?
Pete Dominic's show is 2 to 5. That's the live version. Then it replays often. 2 to 5 on, if you have Sirius Radio, and you should, and if you don't, we're going to kill you, channel 110. On the Sirius Radio, it'll say Court TV. That hasn't been fixed yet. Court TV no longer airs. It used to be...
so now it's called Indie Talk.
Right.
And the 3-hour show that you are part of is Pete Dominic's show. So, all right, I got that part straight. It's only taken 16 minutes of our time here to do that. That's the anchoring.
Right.
Where does the hosting come
in? The hosting comes in at 5 Eastern. 5 to 6 p.m.
Oh, so your day isn't done then, right?
In a different studio. So our little staff has to run down the hall with about 3 minutes to get ready. I love it, though. It's like such a great rush.
It's like 1950s television. It really,
Pretty much. And, we all wear skinny ties and go after communists.
Actually, before you even continue, is there a dress code, or do you just kind of...
No, there is no dress code. And as a matter of fact, everyone at Sirius Radio is encouraged to be themselves.
Wow.
If you were to take a look at, for example, the offices or the workstations, people bring in their, personal... They add their little personal touch to it.
Well, you should be able to... Well, in any office, you should be able to.
And it's nice because... you can... I finally can feel... I feel like, first, because everyone there is pretty much sarcastic. So automatically I fit in. This is the first time I felt like, I actually belong. 2 years at a Christian station, and now I finally belong somewhere. And 5 years at whatever the hell this place is.
I don't know what this place is.
I don't know.
I'm just happy it's here,
It's a good place to die.
It's been around here a lot longer than Sirius has.
That's true, and it'll probably be here a lot longer.
After Sirius is gone and the satellite crashes, and they find another way to...
Especially if Stern dies. he does get paid $500 million and has brought in something like 7.5 million subscribers. So he really is God over there. Even I have to give him that.
But has he been worth it?
I've not.
We're talking about Howard Stern being on Sirius Radio. Yeah.
Because people always ask me this when they find out that I work for Sirius Radio. 1, no, I've never met Howard Stern. 2, no, I do not work for Howard Stern. 3, no, do I listen to Howard Stern? I didn't when he was on K-Rock. I've never liked that genre.
That's cool. I did. I mean, I was a pretty devoted listener for a couple of years, and I got tired of him, then I went back to him, and so I do kind of miss him sometimes. I miss what he does with the news. That's probably my favorite thing, the last hour of his show.
I have met a few of his minions.
Well, you mean like Robin, or do you mean like lower down?
Lower people.
Yeah.
People who are on the floor on which I work. 36. What is it? High-pitched Eric?
Oh, you met... Oh,
High-pitched. I've seen him. I've never met him.
Yeah.
Ralph Howard. I don't know if you knew this, but there were 2 Howard Stern channels. One actually has news. And Ralph Howard, who comes from WCBS News Radio and 1010 Wins, he's a fixture in New York News Radio, is there. He's the only Stern guy that I have introduced myself to, because he's a news guy.
Right, well, yeah.
And it was so interesting talking to him. I approached him as he was coming out of the Stern newsroom, which is such a paradoxical moment.
Yeah. Well, actually, we should really explain that on this other Howard Stern channel, he apparently... I mean, I haven't heard it, but he has anchor people covering
Penny Crone was there for a while. She's not there anymore.
Oh, why'd she leave?
Beats me.
But they were these were people from the real... You used to see them on Channel 5 News in the morning or the Eyewitness News kind of people, and now they only report on anything affecting Howard Stern or what happens on the show. It's this weird... I'm amazed that it's still around. I'm amazed that people still care enough.
It must be a nice way to collect a paycheck.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's probably a good bookend to a career, I'd have to say.
Well, Ralph Howard's probably up there a little bit. I don't know if Penny Crone was old enough to...
Ralph Howard is... First of all, if you know what Ralph Howard looks like, this is a guy who has always had a beard, a very neatly trimmed beard. Uh-huh. It's gone white, of course, and he's got to be in his, I would say, 60s by now. Okay. Because he was on CBS in the 70s. So he was very nice to me.
Good.
I told him that I would make him a CD because his voice appeared on it. This is like a montage of 880, and I have to leave that on his desk Monday. Please don't let me forget that, Dave.
Okay, everybody call and remind Joe before he leaves the studio at midnight tonight that he has to leave the CD on Ralph Howard's desk. The number is 631-888-8811. 631-888-8811. All you got to do is call and say, Joe, bring the CD. So
it would be very much appreciated.
Joe Salzone, Jeff Goodman joining me, Dave Lefkowitz, in the studio at WGBB. We're just talking. But
in case you want to know, who are these people on my radio?
Call me.
Who are these voices coming out of that talking box on my dashboard?
631.
Because I doubt anyone listens to radio anywhere else.
Hey, I got one of the things I'm going to do on Dave's Gone By tonight is we got letters last week, man, emails from people. People are listening.
It's those darn frogs.
Well, yeah, people we had the grow a frog guy.
I heard part of that.
What do you mean part of it?
And here's what I kept hearing. Are you there? I thought, all right, the first time that was charming. The second time annoying. The third time, I went ahead and did other work. That was awful. That might have been.
He was okay.
That might have been the worst part of Dave's Gone By in the history of the whole show.
You, my friend, have just talked yourself out of a grow a frog.
Sorry. Oh, I thought the interview was all right. It took a while. There were times that he seemed to be on some sort of phone delay, but he wasn't. It was more like...
Was he calling from Baghdad or something?
Amazingly, he was probably calling from Massapequa, or worse, New Jersey.
Florida.
Was he in Florida?
He was in Florida. He grew up in Massapequa. Were you not paying attention
to him?
No,
I was just trying to get to talk to him.
Dave was hosting another show in his head.
He was doing research. He got the albino frog. Remember all that?
Vaguely. The thing is, I have not been able to listen back to last week because I left the mini disc here. We had a glitch last week because I was taping it in stereo format instead of mono. Not that anybody cares about this.
Mono, Dave. Mono.
No, mono's the disease. Mono is mono. Well, all right, mono. How do you say that someone is really fastidious? I'm asking this of Jeff Goodman. Really fastidious and very kind of picky. What's the word?
I'm thinking it doesn't have 4 letters.
Well, no,
Pernickety.
Right. Well, Joe gave us a very interesting fact.
Persnickety is the anglicized version. The correct pronunciation is pernickety.
I did not know that the word is actually pernickety.
Either way, it sounds like a fun word to say.
I like with the S, though. I'm used to the S.
I'm going to stick with the S.
Persnickety.
I'm going to stick with the S-hole, as it were.
Why did we Anglos put a snick in it, an S in front of the nick?
Probably easier to say. I don't know. The way we've changed a lot of words, and then they've kind of evolved.
I don't know, governor.
How did Abram turn into Abraham in the Bible? God threw him an extra H. And that's what we were taught. God's like, okay, I'm represented by the letter H, so I'm going to put an H in Abraham, and that was it. And we went from Abram to Abraham. We were taught this in Hebrew school. I swear.
Was it Little Hebrew School?
I still am trying to find out how Ishmael became...
Ahab? No. No.
I love Bible talk.
That's right.
It reminds me of the last 2 years of my life.
And just wait, because in 90 more minutes, it's time for...
Gospel all night until the morning on WGBB-AM 1240. Jeff is kind enough to bring me a taco. The only reason I keep him here is the food and the lift.
What kind of way, bro? The what?
No, well, he's kind enough usually to drive me home.
Would you like a gordito or a taco?
I think I'll pass on both.
No.
I'm on a very strict diet of coffee and vomit.
Oh, he's been sick all week also.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing. Oh, and thank you for sharing the charm.
So you do sound like you have still something in the throat, but you sound okay, Joe.
That's what she said.
Thank you so much. Glad you're feeling better.
I am just not making
enemies.
This is just degenerated. I could have so many things.
I appreciate it. So, Jeff, how was your week?
My weekend was another sucky week.
Oh, why?
I don't know. That was just the way.
Sucky is an okay word.
I guess for you, sucky is good.
No, it's bad. No, it's a bad week.
Why?
It's just another.
Depressed. You have a clinical low-level depression, dude.
I'm telling you.
I'm not joking about it.
And some people call up and go, "Oh, I think Jeff's hilarious." It's my life. It's disgusting.
Everybody. First of all, Jeff lost his father a few months ago, and I was throwing him into a tailspin.
Well, whatever.
Yes, it has, and I mean we don't talk about it much on the air, but if we're going to talk about it, let's be honest. And you said you were going to start to see.
But the Jeff Richards office did call
me.
me, and I got tickets to the homecoming.
Homecoming.
Homecoming, yeah.
Won't you join me, please, in homecoming? Yes.
Is this an intervention?
Kinda.
All right.
If need be. No, because
shouldn't only his friends be involved? Like, should I just leave the room?
He has no friends, so we're not going to. No, but Jeff has. I don't know if you stop me if you don't want me to say this, but there have been also days or almost weeks where you're in that situation where you're not.
I've been very bad.
Right. That's not good.
Oh, and I did get finally the woman because one of my friends, a couple of people convinced me that I should kind of maybe go see someone like a therapist. Mm-hmm. So I called and I tried to get a therapist. The therapist called me back this week, and she said, well, can you meet on Saturdays? I said, no, I kind of work on Saturdays doing parties.
That's true.
And then she started telling me, well, my home's under renovation, and I usually have a home office, but I have to do the Garden City things. I rent an office there, and it's only on Saturdays. I said, well, I can meet.
You know what? That's when you hang up.
I know.
When the therapist has more trouble than you do.
I know. And so I called up one of my friends who did this, and I said, maybe this isn't the right one.
No, I got someone I can possibly recommend.
No,
He's a cool
I'm
guy.
working through. It's actually a very interesting program in Adelphi.
Oh,
It's a graduate program, where a postdoctoral thing for psychiatrists, and to get clinic hours, what they do is they see you on a sliding scale, which is pretty good because.
Well, money's tight for everybody these days.
And no one's been calling the fancy schmancy balloon number that we'll give you out in the next hour. Even though we offered 50% off last week, right?
No, it was 20.
20, nothing.
Nothing. Oh, well. Well, not everybody's having, people are in a party mood in the middle of March.
But,
although St. Patrick's Day.
You could book parties for next year. I don't care.
That's true.
But anyway,
well, people are taking bets on whether you'll still be alive by next year.
Oh, I'll still be.
Either you'll be suicidal or just, you got to watch the weight and the heart, and so, The
weight's been okay, believe it or not.
I have you, just below Queen Elizabeth as far on the pool. Sorry, that's horrible.
What do you mean?
That was evil.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
I'm not contributing anything to this.
Hello, Queen Elizabeth. I thought that was Prince Philip.
Is he still? Where's
He's still
he
alive.
Yeah, he would be young. He's like, from Iraq. He just came back, right?
No, that's William. Philip's his grandfather, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Philip is Queen Elizabeth's husband.
Oh, that's right.
So
He's
therefore,
still
he
there.
would be beneath her.
I saw that movie, The Queen. I should know this. Good movie, too.
He just kept waiting for Charles Bush to make an appearance.
Goes over everybody else's head. That's mine, because we know theater stuff. Okay, now back to Joe, because he's been sitting there patiently.
Please, go on. This is much more riveting. Tell me about more of your downward spiral.
Actually, that is good radio.
It is.
Someone's troubles.
I know, people love when I talk about how horrible my life is.
Well, I mean, if you are spending a lot of your daily hours not getting out of bed or your room, this is a bad thing.
This is really not what I thought we'd be
talking. Well, pick another topic then. But I'm also trying to get you to see somebody.
And then of course, I listened to Channel 2, and Mike Wallace goes, if you're depressed like I was, like, what the hell does Mike Wallace have to be depressed about?
What's the frequency? No, that's Dan Rather. Right?
That was Dan Rather.
I know.
Or as we like to call him, Philip.
Well, you know what? Mike Wallace was probably depressed when he lost that job. Even though he's old.
He retired. He didn't lose any jobs. Dan Rather got fired.
Oh.
Mike Wallace was 60 Minutes.
Oh, so I am confused here. So why was he depressed?
I don't know.
He has nothing to be
encouraging me to get therapy on the TV. He came right through the TV and goes, Jeff Goodman, get therapy. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. So if anyone's in therapy, please call up and tell me if it's working, because I don't know if I should do it.
You really don't know if you should do it?
No, well,
No, you have to find the right person.
Yeah, and I haven't found that. Well, this woman.
Well, no, not that
right
woman. No, I can't see because my house and the
thing
fell in.
She
and
could see me any day except Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Oh man!
And she said she'd call me back, and she didn't call me back.
Then you know what? This is not someone that you should even be concerned with. Fine. What? You don't think there are a lot of therapists?
It's kind of what I told my friend today. When she told me that, because I had to meet her for a 9:30 meeting. Thanks, Lucy.
What's up with 9:30? That's a human time to be...
Yeah, but I'm a late night person.
Okay. I know, I called you this afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Be helping do my Purim Carnival at my synagogue. Oh. Do you want to come to the Purim Carnival?
When is it? And don't say on Purim. When is it physically?
The Purim Carnival is going to be the 16th.
It's the week before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
because Purim and Easter are the same day.
Well, what time?
At I believe it's going to be about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so you can make it.
That might be. Yeah, just spend a little time and come here. I might do that.
Because as a matter of fact,
did they need the services of a rabbi?
The rabbi is actually Dave has convinced the rabbi to make an appearance at our Silver Shekel Saloon in May.
I'm looking forward. He's looking forward to that. I'm talking about Rabbi Saul Solomon, by the way.
Who will be marrying people?
Oh, my God. You know, he's only semi-ordained. He's fully circumcised, but only semi-ordained.
That's okay. We're waiting for the acid reflux.
That's also right. So you have to be a frequent, regular listener to get these kinds of things. Rabbi Saul Solomon appears occasionally on this program, on Dave's Gone By, and he hosts a weekly cable show called Shalom Damn It, Rabbi Saul Solomon's Peace.
I thought we got rid of him. He hasn't been on for a while.
Well, he airs every week. He just hasn't had a new episode until now. This week.
No, I mean we got rid of him on Dave's Gone By because he's been so busy with.
No, as a matter of fact, funny. Well, you didn't really mention it. I did. Next week, Rabbi Saul Solomon will be back on Dave's Gone By interviewing.
Who is he going to assassinate? I mean, interview now.
Tova Feldshuh.
Oh my God.
That'll be interesting.
I'm so sorry.
That'll be kind of. I mean, he's talked to a lot of Jewish people with rare riot incidents. He has not had problems with like Bruce Adler, or with Fiva Schfinkel. I had a lovely time with.
Mention one word.
What's that?
Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy Patinkin is a lunatic.
It's 2 words.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's actually a name.
But I mean, you cannot judge anything by the behavior of Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy Patinkin hung up on the rabbi.
Right. And it was actually, for Mandy Patinkin, that was civil. Mandy, I mean, it is known within the industry he's insane.
That's not nice.
I'm normally not like this about celebrities or dishing dirt, but all you have to do is read the columns.
He's successful, and we're not.
Tremendously successful. Okay, fine.
Speak for yourselves.
I saw Sunday in the Park with George. I would have loved to have seen him in it, but it's. All I'm saying is, anybody who's worked with him, anybody who's done, they had equity charges against him when he was on stage.
I just love the fact he gets all upset because he hung up on the rabbi.
Well, yeah.
Before he hung up on the rabbi, did you like him?
No, because I...
don't lie.
No, I've been warned.
Deal
I have
no
been
deal?
warned by the press person who set up the interview. He said, well, Mandy's crazy. I was like, yeah. I was warned by Mandy's
That might be the worst press person ever. They should work for the Bush administration.
Not his PR person, the PR person for the event that...
Oh, okay, then they're not really protecting... Okay.
No, he has no desire to protect. But I was like, hey, can we get Mandy? Will he talk to the rabbi? And they said, yes. And I said, does Mandy Patinkin know what the rabbi's like? And that it's comedy and that it's going to be whatever. And he's like, yes, he knows.
Are you sure
he
you
knows.
really said this?
Oh, yeah.
Or did you say this after the fact?
No, I made very, very sure that they knew. Because I knew what I was going to be dealing with. So...
Okay.
He gets on the phone. We talked briefly before the interview. No problem.
Because he didn't talk to the rabbi before.
The rabbi says one line. And Mandy Patinkin says, I don't think I'm going to do this. Bye. And hangs up.
Well,
and that's when the rabbi, of course, went off on him.
I see his point, though.
Was it live? On the top of his head? No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't live.
Well, he hung up on the taping.
Yeah.
So it was live for him.
What?
Well, you were taping it live. It wasn't like it was... He didn't have any pre-warning of what the rabbi was like.
Well, he didn't hear the rabbi, but he was told that it would be a comic character that he'd be talking to. He knew it was going to be a comic...
He wasn't told that.
Well, who knows?
I'm not so sure because...
No. Well, anyway...
I don't think he was prepared for it. I
well,
know that
possibly not.
I wasn't prepared for it.
No, you know what? He heard the word "damn it." He heard the rabbi say, or actually, I think it was "God damn it," that the rabbi said, and then he said, "Oh, I don't think." He suddenly got a bad feeling and hung up.
Well, same feeling I get when I talk to you two.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's that little throw up in the
maybe his BlackBerry died, and that he was just covering. That could be it.
I think I saw him in the newsroom at Sirius, so it's possible.
Was he throwing anything? Was he?
He was just throwing up.
Smacking people around like he did on stage, or no?
Yes.
We read about him in the Wild Party. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, he was. His co-stars didn't want to go near him. He was like Nicole Williamson. He was out of control.
Nicole Williamson.
Yeah, remember from I Hate Hamlet? Stop that. Nicole Williamson was appearing in a show called I Hate Hamlet. It was Paul Rudnick's first hit, and Evan Handler was in it. God, Jeff is. What are you eating? Oh, it must be guacamole or something from the Taco Bell.
That's sour cream. That's why.
Oh, is that, yeah. And he's eating in a certain way that is so revolting. Well, no, I mean, I'm sorry. No, if I were not straight, it might not be. But
that's right. We were into. Actually,
that's what we were talking
what we kept
about.
telling you. Did you know Dave's not gay?
He's not?
No. That's what he said.
I'm shocked.
I think we should take a poll.
A poll up.
Isn't that your job? Thank you.
I don't get none of that either.
This was such a high level.
I don't get out of bed and people don't get into my bed.
Oh, well. Well, at least not in this country.
Those poor houseboys of yours.
This was such a high-level conversation 45 minutes ago.
But, no, I think that I would challenge anyone listening out there to dial us.
Yes, please.
At area code 631-888-8811.
As long as that's all they
And
do.
we're going to take a poll whether Dave should be gay or not. Whether you think he should be gay.
Okay, 631-888-8811.
Or do you think Dave's actually lying and Joyce really is a man?
If it's her choice, they know she's not a man. But anyway, that's
we don't know what's underneath those pants.
Well, I do.
What's that?
Anyway.
So do I.
Underpants. 631-888-8811. If you want to degenerate further, that's so good. And then you showed up.
80-plus years of history. Rich tradition the station represents. And we defy
please, you had strippers on there one time.
And a porn star.
Oh, my God. We have a caller.
Welcome to the Is Dave Gay hotline.
$10 at this Joyce.
WGBB.
Am I gay?
You're on the air.
Hi, this is Mark Torres from the Comic Knowledge Radio Show. I'm accepting Jeff's challenge.
You're accepting. This is Mark Torres from the Comic Book Novice, which airs Thursday nights at 9 or 9:30.
Yes, I'm accepting Jeff's challenge to see if you're not gay. I have met your wife, Dave. Dave's not gay.
Thank you.
But should he be gay?
Oh, should he be gay?
Should I be gay?
That's an interesting point. Well, you know the whole thing about gay in theater, so he can go either way for hosting the show.
So would you vote him bisexual?
Oh, bisexual. Okay, well, we can say that he's bisexual for the purposes of hosting the show.
And by the way, I'm quadrisexual.
What does that mean?
Oh my God.
I'll do anything for a quarter.
In that way, you're going all on fours. Yeah, hell. I'm a trisexual, actually. I'll try anything. Well, that's actually not true.
Right now, I'm a no-sexual.
Oh, poor Joe.
Poor thing. The longest thing he has on his body is his nose.
It's a big nose.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's reaching halfway across the room, in fact. So,
it's made many women happy. Right, Pinocchio?
Lie, tell the truth. Lie, tell the truth. Lie. Okay, old joke. So, Mark Torres, are you getting any?
Not tonight.
The comic book guy.
Do you have a girlfriend? Do you,
By the way,
wait, will you let someone answer a question?
This is why I hung up last week.
Yeah, actually, I remember. I heard you hang up last week, Joe, actually.
It was delightful.
Wasn't it horrible? It was terrible.
I was like, why he hanged up on him for? That's not cool.
Well, did you hear the reason? Literally, his BlackBerry died. He was actually not angry or anything like that.
Well, I was annoyed.
He said he was going to hang up, and then he did.
That's right. And now we're in a mourning period for his BlackBerry for some reason.
No, it's working again. He's got it.
I charged it.
Yeah. So, Mark, are you single? And where are you at?
So we now call his BlackBerry Jesus.
I recently broke up with my fiance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why? Why is
that's
that?
not your fault.
Yeah, she probably deserved it.
Maybe it was.
Or was it?
So you want to talk about it, or you want to curse her out on the air or something? Using language
not
we
at
can.
All. It was a very amicable separation.
Oh no, I want to use someone else's pain for humor on the show instead of mine.
How long were you together?
We were together for 8 years.
Oh my gosh!
So was it totally non-sexual way, huh?
Well,
in a very unusual way.
But did it come down to the "marry me or else" thing, or the "I want kids,
Actually,
I don't"
no,
thing?
They were fiancéed.
Yeah.
We were engaged for at least 4 out of those 8 years.
Right.
But basically, it was just we just kind of just started going out separate ways.
She liked Batman, you like Superman, that kind of thing.
Actually, it was just she just went full time for school, and then I went full time with my job and radio show. So we just kind of floated apart, and we were like, I don't think this is going to work out. Like, okay. Cool. So it was a very amicable separation. It wasn't like anybody.
Seem fine with it.
Have you two maintained any kind of friendship?
Yeah, we talk all the time. We're good buddies.
Hey, Dave, I have a relationship question for you. Since Joyce is in Philadelphia a lot during the week,
and he's not gay,
and you're allegedly not gay. What do you do?
What do you mean?
do you? First of all, how often
do you self-satisfy?
No, I was not going.
No, he wasn't going there. Where were you going?
How often do you and Joyce talk during the week?
Oh, almost every day. She'll call just to tell me how she's doing, or if she's heading from like one train to another.
He's not gay.
Yeah, right. Well, no, I mean it's just for a few minutes usually, because she knows I get kind of impatient on the phone. I don't like yakking on the phone. I love being on. I can talk in front of a mic for hours, but put me on a telephone with someone, I'm like, okay, impart the information you have to impart to me, and then talk to you soon.
That's
Bye.
Interesting, because you and I have talked on the phone. Many times. I never got the sense that you were like, all right, that's enough.
We would not talk for more than 20 minutes.
True.
And usually I was trying to get something from you. If there's a motive involved.
I still want my blue dress back.
And we're still trying to figure out how he can say that and say he's not gay.
So that's...
And not only that, and I'm so opposite that, because I talk to anybody and everybody on the phone for hours on end. As a matter of fact, I was so exhausted, my friend Pat called me. I think I fell asleep on the phone. While I was talking to her. And I don't think it's the first time I've done that.
I've done that in my college days when I was making friends and stuff, but that hasn't... I'm not on the phone with anybody for that long.
Well, you don't have any friends.
What happens to me, I get a physical reaction. If I feel that I'm on the phone 1 minute too long, my body tenses up, my hand starts gripping the phone like it's squeezing, into a fist. and I start pacing around the room. I feel like a trapped animal, and I cannot get off the phone.
I'm the one with problems?
Oh, I'm a walking encyclopedia of problems.
You know, I find that it depends with whom I'm talking. For certain friends, I can talk to them on the phone for hours.
Really?
And other friends, it's like, a few minutes, and they're like, all right.
Can I ask the person on the phone how they feel about being on hold for hours?
Well, Mark, how's your phone's savvy, or what do you do?
Actually, I'm a very limited phone person. Just get to the point. Why are you calling?
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you have to talk to like somebody who you haven't spoken for a while, and I think like a good half an hour is my limit.
That sounds about right.
That's nothing.
Because by then you run out of stuff to talk about.
Well, but I have to say also that it is a little different for me, because a lot of times when I'm doing business or calling people, it's on my business phone, and I have nothing else it's not cordless. So I have to sort of sit there, be there at this phone, whereas if I'm on another phone that we have, I can at least be in the room and flip TV channels silently. And that will kind of occupy me enough.
You have a cell phone too, right, Dave?
I never, but just for emergencies.
I think I've asked you for the number, and you're like, I don't know what the number is.
I don't.
He doesn't give it out.
No, only my mother-in-law, my mom, and my wife.
I have.
Not in that, by accident, because it showed up on your caller ID.
That's right. But I don't dare call it, because I'll be crucified.
Because if you do, you'll invariably get me at the theater. That's the thing I dread.
It's a female-only line then, right?
Well, come to think of it, yeah, only
Dave.
women. Yeah, I got it going. I'm rocking that cell phone.
Yeah, don't say that ever again. You single-handedly ended all race relations by that one remark. Now the civil rights movement are going to think that this little Jewish guy is using our vernacular, which in itself is a white word, and they're like,
how is rocking my cell phone a remotely...
First of all, you said rocking. It should be rockin'.
Rockin', sorry. Yeah.
And apostrophe.
Yeah.
And two, don't ever say it again.
Okay.
It just sounds so... It's like me saying full show. Which I do say.
You really?
On 42nd Street, to my hooker. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have your own personal hooker?
Yes, I do.
He makes good money now.
Her name is Disney.
I think Minnie.
That's the only hooker left on 42nd Street.
Yeah, right?
That and that Applebee's. I don't know.
She has 2 teeth. 2 teeth.
And they're spaced just the right.
It's like a vampire with a bad dental plan.
She would have 2 teeth. Not 2 teeth. She would have 2 teeth.
I suppose that's right.
Yeah.
And she tells the truth.
We're degenerating again. Okay. So how do we...
Can we ask you the questions?
Oh, it's Ebonics time. Let's not get offensive on this. Come on.
No. I just hate people who have no command of the English language.
Why is that so common? My wife thinks, I've talked about this with Joyce, that it has to do with that's a word that they want to say that way because it's their pronunciation of that word. Yeah. Ax instead of ask. Whereas I think it's just incorrect. I think they just don't realize they got it wrong.
You know what I think a lot of people say that I think it's horrible too?
What?
They go, come again.
Well, that's well.
Well, it started, if you think about it, and I won't explain the origin.
No.
Yes!
It didn't come from that.
Yes, it is. Come again is that.
No.
Yes.
How did you, what was that, from Wikipedia? Where did you hear that?
Because that's how it started. When they...
Right, okay, but
it was a joke. It was the end of several jokes in the 70s. Come again? It's like, but
really?
I've never heard that before.
No.
Well, you guys weren't alive in the 70s.
And I think that phrase goes back before.
I don't think so. Well, I can't stand that. That's one phrase I can't.
I was interviewing a couple authors a couple days ago, and we somehow got on the topic of grammar and how poor a lot of people's grammar are, especially my generation, people in their early 20s.
Grammar would be an is.
True.
How poor am your grammar? Yeah. It be bad?
It am good.
Mm.
Don't forget we have the caller on hold.
No, he's not on hold. He's just listening.
Okay. But I don't want us to ignore the people for calling in.
Mark, you there?
Yes, I am.
Mark is still there. He's
I think
patient.
I think he put his ass down. I think he put
are you in a car? I think are you driving?
I am driving home.
We haven't.
I hope we're on a handless cord.
Me too.
we haven't reached that 30-minute limit. Have you? Happy with you, Mark?
Actually, I'd have to. Hold on. I'm passing this hole. Hold on.
Is he putting us on hold?
You're passing a hole?
Well, and I'm the gay one, huh?
That's called the Grand Canyon.
Thank you.
Wow. It's only 14 minutes.
Oh, so Where are you now, by the way? What stretch of road?
Just entering the Bronx.
Ooh.
And you're still getting us on your radio, entering the Bronx?
Well, I hear you on my phone.
Oh, that's right.
Smart, Dave. They went to college.
I know grammar, at least.
Dave's gone by.
Yeah, you know what? Let's get to it. Dave's gone by. Right after this is going to be Paul Tracey is our special guest, plus Joe Salzone is going to hang with us, and Jeff Goodman. I'll explain everything in just a moment or two. Don't go away. You're listening to WGBB Freeport. You're listening to AM 1240 or AM 1240 WGBB.com. You're listening to Dave's Gone By. You're obviously a very lonely person. Greetings from Long Island, where every highway is a sunrise. It's time for Dave's Gone By, an hour of comedy, talk, and music brought to you by Total Theater, with your host, Dave Lefkowitz. You've never heard anything like it, so sit back, relax, squeal if you must. Here's the host of Dave's Gone By, Dave!
Tropical hot dog night. Like two flamingos in a fruit fight.
Well, there goes the Daverhood, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome on this first Sunday in March 2nd, 2008, to the 262nd episode of Dave's Gone By. I'm thrilled to be here, and more people than are usually on here, or I think there's more people going to be on the air for the next couple of minutes and are actually listening to the show right now. Maybe not, but I'm thrilled that I have in studio, first of all, my usual guest co-host, the one and only, and the only and one, Jeff Goodman. Hello, Jeff Goodman.
Hi, the person whom we now take for granted.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, because, you're here every week. And then we have a special guest who will be joining us for a bit. His name is Joe Salzone, former WGBB staff member.
He's a GBB alumnus.
He is an alum. Now he works over at Sirius Satellite Radio. Welcome, Joe. Hi, Dave. Whoops. Hey, what happened to you?
And he has a BlackBerry, too.
He does indeed. And he's using it incessantly, even as we're on the air. What are you looking at your BlackBerry, Joe?
I'm actually having an IM conversation with a friend of mine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Why isn't he listening to the radio?
She, and I believe she actually is listening.
Oh.
But that's more for my benefit, not any of you.
Oh, certainly. I believe
So are
that.
you having kind of simul sex or something?
No.
It's a little radio sex.
I can see the BlackBerry from here, and she's wearing a pink bra. Interesting.
Yes,
and speaking of someone
that's
wearing
me,
a pink bra, on the phone is also Mark Torres.
That's the worst intro ever.
I know. Mark Torres of the Comic Book Novice, which airs Thursday nights on WGBB. He just happens to be in the car listening, so keeping him on here for just a couple of minutes as we
and he's
open the
talking
show.
on a hands-free device.
Yes, he is. He's obeying the law. Hello, Mark.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm obeying the law, sort of.
It's a stupid.
Sorry. No, so what do you mean it's a stupid law?
For all the policemen following you, how are you not obeying the law?
Well, it's the only reason it's that they have the whole cell phone thing is because just quickly in Los Angeles, I believe, some guy went to pick up his cell phone and make a phone call, and he went across 4 lanes of traffic, and he killed a young girl.
Okay.
That's why they made the law.
Well, I mean, it is a fairly sensible thing. You should be using. I learned both hands on the wheel, and what was it? It was the 10 and 4 position, 10 and 2, 10 and 2 position. Yeah.
As a libertarian, I don't like the government telling me what I can and cannot do in my car.
Including a seatbelt?
I wear a seatbelt because it's common sense. I don't answer my phone because I don't have a hands-free device. I don't answer my phone when I'm driving.
Right.
I don't like the fact that I'm not allowed to. To me, it's just common sense. Of course you don't.
But people are stupid.
Well,
not you, Mark. I'm saying... But
isn't most laws for common sense? Don't rob banks. Don't shoot people. But they tell you it's a law anyway. That's the whole point.
And yet, people still rob banks and kill people.
If you're on a motorcycle, wear a helmet. But
except for that woman who returned the money to the North Fork Bank.
What was that?
You didn't hear about the woman? She robbed banks to feed her cat or something.
Okay.
No.
Was her name Carol Chang?
No. But it was the North Fork Bank, I believe, in Queens or something. And then she came back a couple of days later, and she felt bad about robbing the bank, and she returned the money.
And then they arrested her, and she's going to spend a lot of time in prison. Oh, well. Well, hey, maybe... Well, she hasn't found Jesus already. She'll find him in prison.
But you never know. She might not go to prison because actually she was remorseful. which is a very big thing to be in court.
I'm remorseful about being on the show.
Yeah. And you're not even faking it. That's the thing.
I never do.
Well, anyway, Mark, tell us real quick who's going to be on your show this Thursday, because we're going to move along and do some other stuff on the program.
And I have a question for him too.
Okay, but first, Mark, what's your who's your guest on Comic Book Novice on Thursday?
This week it's going to be from comicmix.com. It's a new source for comic books. It's going to be Chris Rau, R-U-B, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And what is your question for me?
I want to know if you like comic books. So, do you like the TV show Heroes, which basically is a comic book television show?
Believe it or not, I was supposed to see it. I'm one of those guys that has to see a show from beginning to end. And I missed the first episode, so I didn't get a chance to see it. So now I have to wait until I get some time to watch this whole DVD season. But I think that the second season is not doing as well, and it is written by a comic book guy.
Right. But, the second season, it's kind of, it was great the first season, but then they killed off so many of the regular characters. They brought in it's becoming ridiculous in the second season.
And also, the weird thing about Mark's rule is, he has not seen Good Morning America. He just won't do it. I thought it was a good line. Oh, well.
Oh.
Never watched Sesame Street.
Yeah, there you go.
He missed the first half of the alphabet.
Days of Our Lives. He saw the second episode of Days of Our Lives just because he was in somebody else's house.
Never watched the news because he never saw the first ever newscast.
Exactly. If you had known Marconi, you would don't know what the final Farnsworth. Anyway, Mark, thanks for hanging with us, however briefly, and thanks for hanging in the last.
And what's your
half hour.
favorite radio show?
Yeah.
My favorite radio show?
His own. What? Sorry?
My favorite radio show is Days Gone By.
Thank you.
And what's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show right now, I would say Family Guy.
Really?
Well, Family Guy's hysterical. It's hilarious.
And what's your favorite non-animated TV show?
It has Adam West on it, so you can't be wrong if you have Adam West on a show.
Yeah, this is true. Well, what's your favorite non-animated?
Favorite public access show?
Favorite that's on the air now?
Okay.
Or just like in general?
Whichever you can answer faster. Yeah.
Well, not trying to be my favorite. Married with Children is also another classic.
What was that? Married with Children, yeah.
Not Planting.
Kind of a Fox guy, aren't you?
Not Planting was on the Channel 2.
What?
Not Planting was on Channel 2.
Not Landing?
You never hear that.
Let's all say that together. Not Landing.
You never hear
Let's get Michelle Lee on the phone.
The third longest running primetime show on TV.
Well, have you all seen Joan Van Ark? Was she on that too, or was she from the other thing?
Yes, she was. Joan Van Ark was on that.
Have you seen her on Nip Tuck? My wife has been watching that. She's scary looking now.
She's on. I saw her like 3 years ago on a regular daytime.
Good thing we're wrapping it up, isn't it?
Well, no, I just had to put. She's like the next Jocelyn Wildenstein. They did some bad juju on her, man.
I like the Golden Girls. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah. Well, just.
Which one?
Betty White.
B, man. B.
Well, she's good too. But Betty White's character was just so.
You have to say the character name. I personally am a Sophia.
Sophia's the old one?
Dorothy's mom, who's actually the youngest person on the cast.
Yeah. Right.
And now suffers from Alzheimer's.
Is she still alive?
She's still alive.
Oh, well, barely. Anyway.
Well, they're mid-90s, except for...
mid-80s,
I mean.
Yeah.
Except for,
Come on, you still haven't told me what was Betty White's character's name?
Rose Nyland.
Good for you, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dorothy Spornak, Blanche Devereaux, and Sophia Petrillo.
Woo! Joe wins the... What does Joe win, Jeff Goodman?
He gets a ticket to go outside and have a life.
On that note, let's do our sponsors.
I'm going to go to my full-time job tomorrow.
Sponsors of Dave's Gone By include Hewlett Minuteman Press, who are the...
Copy Kings of Broadway.
1315 Broadway in Hewlett, 516-569-5577. 10% off for Dave's Gone By listeners who go to Hewlett Minuteman Press.
And it's next to Loman Shoes.
It is, and across the street from the old
Lomans.
Lomans.
The greatest landmark ever.
Brought to you also by MortgagesRock.com.
Just because they do.
MortgagesRock.com, MortgagesRock.com. And by Performing Arts Insider Theater magazine, the...
Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway.
Oh, God, the whole table just shook.
PerformingArtsInsider.com.
Did I make the earth move for you?
Oh... Put a little more of that cream sauce on. Anyway, PerformingArtsInsider.com is the place to find out about this wonderful, important theater journal that you can get at your business, or place of residence either 12 times a year or 21 times a year. 12 times a year, big discount for Dave's Gone By listeners, only $120 for 12 huge issues. And finally...
Well, they're not that huge.
Hey, it's pretty big for a journal.
Not huge, but they're informational packed.
Yes. Okay, I'll give you that.
They're fact-filled.
Yes.
It's a plethora of information.
Well, now you're so pernickety.
Yeah. I was just going to use that line. Thank you, Joe.
Air 5.
Yeah. Air 5 through the glass. And finally, speaking of Jeff Goodman here, in a non-pernickety way.
But no one calls.
Actually, someone did. Your sponsor thing is...
Fancy.
There we go.
What is it?
Fancy Smancy, right?
Yeah.
Fancy schmancy balloons for all your party decorating needs. Want to expand a little bit quickly?
I'm just depressed.
Okay.
Get like free helium with every balloon purchase?
There you go.
All the air you can breathe. Call Jeff at 797...
We'll give you a little whipping of helium.
797-3229. 797-3229, area code 516 for Fancy Schmancy Balloons. If you're having a St. Patrick's Day party, call Jeff. He's got the green balloons.
Communions are coming up.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Communion, big thing to get.
Purim, man. If you're having Purim parties, call
and
Jeff.
And I just got more helium. Most people can't get it.
That's right. Anyway,
well, that was interesting.
Also brought to you by Shalom Damn It, Rabbi Sal Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour, Wednesday mornings at 7:30 on Long Island Woodbury Cablevision, Channel 20. That's the Cablevision most people get.
That's my fourth favorite show.
Thank you.
That comes after Golden Girls, Matlock, House, and then...
Matlock! I hated
What about
Matlock.
Columbo, man?
Columbo was never actually a TV show, actually. It was a series of TV movies.
That's true.
But, yeah, Columbo's good, too.
Cool. Anyway, I also wanted to say about...
And you don't like The Amazing Race? What's wrong with you people?
Reality stuff. Show. But I want to mention, this is actually big news. I don't know if I had time to mention it last week, but Shalom Damn It is finally going to be on Manhattan.
Yes, you did mention it.
I did say, yeah. It'll be airing a great time slot, too.
So now the rabbi's going to be annoying Manhattanites, too.
Yeah.
It'll be the first Jew in Manhattan ever.
Mass conversion there. Sundays, 1:30 in the afternoon on Channel 67 on MNN Network. It's Manhattan Cable Television.
That's actually a very professional operation.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who put together the public access show that I did a couple years ago, I went with him to see the M&M studios.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. It's like almost like professional television.
Almost. It's
they
not
even
quite.
have a logo on the bottom of the screen for all the shows. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and they got good, and they have also some web streaming. So this is kind of odd. Usually, I'm telling all the New York listeners that if you want to watch the show from Long Island, you have to go on YouTube. And here, you can actually go on the internet and watch the show while it's streaming on MNN Sunday afternoons at 1:30.
Notes on your television.
On Channel 67, but also it'll still be on Long Island Cable, 7:30 on Wednesday mornings, Channel 20. And Shalom Damn It starts March 16th in New York, so it's not this weekend.
To see the actual TV version. I only watch them on YouTube.
Check it out. It's kind of cool on TV, I think. Anyway.
I miss Rabbi Robics.
That
was the greatest sketch ever.
Thank you. Well, the rabbi will thank you for when he hears this episode. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, on tonight's episode, if there's time, probably won't be. We're already running incredibly late. Paul Tracey, who was born in South Africa, came to Broadway with his brother when they did a variety show called Wait a Minim that was there in the late 50s, early 60s. Ended up staying in the States, becoming a songwriter, and also a folk musicologist, and something of an ethnologist. Really charming guy, and a pretty good songwriter, too. I always wanted to talk to him ever since I was a kid, hearing his music and seeing him on the TV show The Patchwork Family. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but it was a brief, it ran for maybe 2 seasons, probably 1, and it was it kind of was like...
I guess it was the H.R. Puffin stuff that did him in.
What it was like CBS Sunday Morning, before there was a CBS Sunday Morning, but for kids. It was a newsy magazine show for like higher level children.
There was another show on CBS like that. It was called 30 Minutes because it was co-anchored by Christopher Glenn, who late in his career went on to host the World News Roundup on CBS News Radio, retired in 2005 and died a few months after that.
But you're much younger, so this would you're thinking in terms of 1980s, I think.
Yeah, that was because he also did.
Dave's talking 1930s.
No, well,
he also did In the News, which you might remember. You might recall.
Yes,
I knew you would know that. That was Christopher Glenn was the voice of that.
Cool.
What happened to Schoolhouse Rock?
Well, they turned it into an off-Broadway show. Not that that's
really?
remotely relevant, but yeah, what?
Yeah. Did they really?
Sure. There's a cast album and everything, yeah.
I can't wait
I'm just a bill who's sitting on Capitol Hill, was wanting to become a law.
I can tell right now we're not going to have time for Inside Broadway. We'll try and have room for the news of it. And I want to read some letters at the end of the show. So anyway, let's get to Paul Tracey because...
Let's take a bite to who's episode.
Oh, sorry. And yes, Mark Torres, thanks for being patient and calling.
Jeff Goodman, the de facto producer.
Everybody listen to Comic Book Novice. When is it on?
9 o'clock every Thursday night.
On WGBB-AM 1240, which carries this radio program, Dave's Gone By, which has commercials that sound just like this.
I know a place that is upside down, where they do everything they do wrong. I know a place that is upside down, where the sun keeps you cool all day long. From the time that it rises at 6 p.m. to the time that it sets at dawn, you can sit and grow younger and younger until you're young enough to be born. And I know in this land that is upside down, it's the old folks who go off to school. And at school in this land that is upside down, if you're good, you get spanked, for that's the rule. I know a place that is inside out, where they run when they want to stand still. And the trains in this land that is inside out never move at all, even downhill. And the birds walk around with 4 legs on the ground, while the animals fly through the air. And the men grow scales all along their long tails, and the fish grow most beautiful hair. And I know in this land that is inside out, that the pets all have pets of their own. And the folks in this land that is inside out all get fed once a day with a bone. I know a place that is back to front, all the clocks in the land of clock tick. And the folks in this land that is back to front, when they're well and they're terribly sick. When they smile and they're sad, when they frown and they're glad, when they laugh they're in awful pain. When they're hot they are not, when they're cold I am told they boil but never complain. And I know in this land that is back to front, that the animals go to the zoo. And they love it because it is back to front, what they see in the cages is you.
Welcome back to Dave's Gone By on this Sunday night, and as I mentioned earlier in the program, I'm going to dip back a bit into my childhood for this guest, because he was a frequent visitor on a show that I used to watch when I was a kid. Well, not quite such a tiny little kid, and probably I was already a little older than I should have been when I was still watching this show, but it was called The Patchwork Family, and it was CBS TV's version of their Sunday morning show before they even had a Sunday morning show. It was treating kids like a bit smarter and a bit more creative than perhaps we all were, but I rather liked that. And one of the guests that they had on there was a fella who came a little bit from the musical theater world, and just playing from the music world, was an expert in all sorts of instruments and also wrote some of his own songs. And I found him just really charming, and the songs very catchy. Couldn't get them out of my head. So now this is the expiation. This is the way, like, I can finally, download the songs out of my brain and into the ozone, because I have on the phone with me, all the way from California, Mr. Paul Tracey.
Well, good evening to you, Dave.
Yeah, that was a rather bizarre intro. Sorry about that, but very, very happy to have you with us in the neighborhood, Paul.
Thank you.
So that was the Patchwork Family, which I guess goes back to the early 1970s.
Probably right, because I moved out to California in '76, so it was just, and I'd only moved into New York after our show closed on Broadway. That was in '68. So I was only there for a period of 7 years. It must have been the early 70s.
So actually, since we're already bringing that back, why don't we even trace it back a little bit? Unfortunately, it was a little before my time when Paul was on Broadway in a South African-based show called Wait a Minim. Why don't you explain how that came about and what that was?
Well, that's a wonderful story because I was a chicken farmer. And my brother was working with my dad in African music. That was our sort of family business, the study of African music. And a producer came to the two of us. We were just singing folk songs as the Tracey brothers on occasional things. And producer came to us and said, "Do you think you could put on a show?" Because he had a lease of a theater which desperately needed to be filled. And, we said, "No, I don't think we can." But he encouraged us to go to the theater one night and sing our entire repertoire of folk songs. We had a big collection of folk songs because my brother had been the chair of the Folk Song Society at Oxford.
Oh.
And they collected all sorts of international folk music. And so we sang all our songs, and during some of our more serious numbers, the producer and his friend started giggling.
Oh.
And we thought, what on earth is going on? It turned out that it became the format for this show, which was to take national groups and present them through their folk music and their dance and make fun of them because of their national characteristics. This was so politically incorrect, it was almost impossible to do today.
Yes. So for example, what would you do in the show?
Well, for example, the Germans, you would sing a song like, "Oh, du wunderschöne Deutsche," very sort of cheery beer song, and then suddenly the three guitar players in the show would suddenly stop playing, turn their guitars into machine guns, and riddle the audience with bullets. And then go on. Just joking.
Did you? No, wait, you did that.
Stuff.
You really did that on the. My God, what did you do for the other nationalities?
Oh, well, the Japanese. Look, I don't think it's any secret that the Japanese are wonderfully polite, but incredibly cruel. So the combination was just dying to be mocked. And so we had a scene where we had a man singing the Japanese folk song, and he's been served tea, which is a very formal sort of thing, and he drinks the first cup of tea, and then he goes on singing, and then the woman offers him a second cup of tea. He doesn't really want it, you can see in his face.
Right.
But he accepts, and then she offers him another cup of tea, and finally, he's had it, and he takes the tea pot and he stuffs it down her throat. Stupid stuff like that, but very funny. No spoken words.
Really?
Except when we got to the South African political scene, because this all started in Johannesburg. And this days of apartheid. And funnily enough, you could say anything you liked in theater, because they knew that very few people went to the theater. If you had radio or television, then you were censored. But we got away with saying almost anything in theater. So when we took the show overseas, anything that we had not said on stage in South Africa.
Well, how did you deal with the South African political situation in Wait a Minim when you were doing it on stage? What was the bit or the sequence?
Dave, are you getting a big sound? Is it my phone or yours?
Sounds like your phone, although I guess you're having a little trouble hearing me.
Well, no, I wonder if you just jiggle this thing briefly. If I lose you, will you...
I hope it's the phone you're talking about.
Hello, this is Paul Tracey, a wandering minstrel from California. We're on Dave's Gone By on WGBB. Let's carry on.
So, the question was...
Yes, how did we do the political stuff?
Yeah.
What happened was that the government sent a couple of agents to watch our show and figure out if it was culturally worthy. And apparently it was. We couldn't really believe that they didn't get the jokes about the government. But that's the way it works. And
but I'm curious.
Those like you, they charge you a terrible tax, which basically puts you out of business.
Oh, interesting. But I'm actually curious what the jokes were, or how you... In other words, you said how you portrayed the Germans and the Japanese. How did you portray the South African government, literally, on stage? What did you do?
We had like the news, for example, and here comes the news, and I would be reading the news, and I would lean severely to one side because our news was always slanted.
little stuff, cute stuff like that.
Very visual.
Yeah.
Humor, yes. It was a marvelous. It was a wonderful show for us because we created it ourselves. The four of us in particular were the creators.
Right.
We had my brother and myself who played a lot of different instruments.
Is your brother still alive, by the way? Is your brother still around?
Yeah, yes, but he's in Africa.
Oh, wonderful. Cool.
He went back to working with my father. I actually took over the running of the library. That's the International Library of African Music. Because my dad created that 53 years ago now. And then my brother took over about 30 years ago and actually moved it from close to Johannesburg, where my dad had it. And he moved in with Rhodes University, which was a smart move because my dad wasted many years of his life just trying to raise funds to keep the library going.
Didn't he also have a radio station of some sort?
At Rhodes?
Or your father had a radio station?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, he ran the studios in Durban, the South African Broadcasting Corporation. And that was his position, from before the war, I'm talking about the early 30s, right through the war, up till 47 when he quit and went into African music full time.
Wow!
And he actually signed up to be, on the in the war on the Allied side. With the South Africans were somewhat suspect about the war, but he signed up for the Allies, and they said no.
He signed up in 1946, which was a little,
No.
hedged his bets a little bit, didn't he?
No, signed up before the war.
All right.
39, and. Oh, yeah, that's before, a little joke about Americans there, of course. It was 1939 when the war started.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, he was told, no, your job is to look after the radio waves, because this was long before other sophisticated ways of sending messages, and there were submarines off the coast. And so he had to listen to everybody who was on his radio, making sure they were not sending messages to the submarines off the coast. And he, in fact, did catch one man who, for 2 weeks in a row, was used the same text for his sermon. And my father realized that was very suspicious.
It was code?
It was code, yes. Well, yes, it's very easy sort of code, chapter so-and-so, verse so-and-so, all that sort of stuff.
Ooh.
It gave them all sorts of clues.
And so, were they able to find it, or they just shut down the broadcast? I mean, what do you do?
I was very young, and I don't remember how the story ended.
Oh.
But we didn't see much of the war. We saw a lot of the troops came around there. They had R&R in Durban, where I was living.
Mm-hmm.
And we had one airplane that came across in the middle of the war. We all dove into our dugout shelters. But that was about it. And I stayed there and left in 47 because my parents split up and had my education in England.
And where did you go? Were you Rhodes or Oxford, or where did you go?
No, I went to actually, normal sort of schooling up until 18, and after that I went to what they call the University of the Bush.
Oh.
Which means...
so you met some women? No, I don't know what that means.
The University of the Bush. That means I taught myself everything that I find useful today when I went back to live on the farm with my dad in Africa.
Oh.
All my that's when I started doing radio work myself. My father encouraged me to get some of my folk songs together and have my own little program on radio. Then at one stage I had my own 15 minutes a week for children.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
Write the script every week. I love doing it. It's called The Nutcrackers.
And children is kind of carried through your career on some level, because you were doing obviously some folk music for adults and some cultural folk music and writing your own songs. But I think over the past bunch of years, you've concentrated more on children. Am I right about that?
You are right. I never wrote songs until my daughter was born, and that's about 37 years ago now. I have a trouble with being English in that one doesn't talk about oneself in England. But I find that when I do shows in America, you cannot be personal enough. They want to hear every detail about your life.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But then I go back to England or to South Africa, and the reviews say, it's rather personal. Anyway, so it was when my daughter was born that finally I just had to let out some emotions and just...
Yeah, because you wrote a couple of songs about your daughter, about your wife. There's a very nice song about... it's sort of a blessing and a prayer for your car, where you're...
yes.
No, I mean, it's silly, but it's nice. It seems like it's going to be this western-y kind of song about a horse, and then you realize, no, it's about a car. He's talking about a red Mustang. And then you
That's
realize,
right.
oh, wait a minute.
My wife's favorite. I mean, she was passionate about this car. It was a turbocharged, and she just loved it. And I realized that if I was going to get through to her, I would have to go through the car.
Or at least through the back seat.
When she was away one weekend down in San Diego, and I just imagined that she was driving along down the coast of California, down to San Diego, past some of those snow-topped mountains on the inland side, and I was just encouraging the car to look after her and to drive her carefully, and would the car make her coffee like I do and tell her stories at night? I mean, I was just really chastising the car and making sure that she got home safely.
I mean, it's a lovely way to approach a love song, because it's obviously more about your wife and kid than it is about the car.
Well, that's the point, yeah.
Yeah, although maybe for you, the way you talk about the car, maybe it's also about the car.
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, the Mustang people never picked it up and never paid me a fortune. But there you go.
Oh, well, at least you make enough money to buy a red Mustang.
Maybe one day.
Your sunroof wide open, your radio loud, carrying all that I live for still further away, with your turbocharged power so proud. Where are you now, brilliant red Mustang? You are responsible when I'm not there, so carry your precious load over that endless road. Carry my love in her seatbelt with care. Where are you now, brilliant red Mustang, conquering mountains all silenced by snow, or racing the desert? Saguaros stand watching, blue clouds of exhaust in your dust as you go. Oh, where are you now, brilliant red Mustang, chasing white seagulls along by the shore? Check all your tires, check your oil, check your brakes, and take care of my love till I see her once more. Rub her back like I do, make her purr, make her smile, make her coffee in the morning, mile after mile. Will you hold her hand like I do, crossing rivers and streams? Will you take her to the movies and share all her dreams? Where are you now, brilliant red Mustang, your sunroof wide open, your radio loud, carrying all that I live for still further away, with your turbocharged power so proud. Where are you now, brilliant red Mustang? Faster, go faster, I want you to be back here today, back in my driveway, so hurry her home, back home to me.
Welcome back to Dave's Gone By. We're talking with Paul Tracey, who is described from a place called the Tacoma Review. They said, Paul Tracey, folklorist, is an incredibly charming and talented pantomimist, guitarist, storyteller, composer, writer, and singer. All this may sound a bit much, but it only hits the high spots, and we're certainly finding that out today.
And it just shows you can't believe everything you see in writing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's from the internet, so it probably means nothing at all. But you sound a little bit talented, so I might as well keep talking to you. I got no time to kill. Now, in between here, while we were listening to your song, you were getting out a musical instrument. And it's funny because even without provocation or without my prompting you, my next question to Paul Tracey is going to be, please explain, I never remember this, and I probably won't remember this after tonight, but what is the difference between a marimba and a kalimba?
Well, perhaps what you're saying, instead of marimba, which is a xylophone, perhaps you could be saying mbira, which is M-B-I-R-A. And mbira is the African word for the type of instrument which my father adapted into a kalimba.
Oh.
The mbira is the generic term that all the musicologists have chosen for this family of instruments in Africa. And the kalimba is just an easier way of saying it. When my father developed this instrument, he decided it better have a name that people can say. And mbira is pretty tough.
Well, it's got like apostrophe in there. That's always annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to agree first. Mbira. So he used kalimba, and kalimba is actually a nice word because the ka means little and the limba means music. Kalimba, music. And it's just a little box with stainless steel, spring steel notes attached to the front. The particular model I have in my hands is called the treble, and it has 17 notes. It's a very sweet thing.
Oh.
Very simple to play with two thumbs.
Wow, we have treble right here in River City. That's wonderful. That's
all right.
I'm sorry about that. I apologize instantly for that joke.
No, we like musical jokes.
So that is a mabira that was turned into a kalimba by your dad.
Yes, he made it look sort of more Western, but he spent his life studying African music, and this was his attempt originally. Not to be a big money-making thing, well, a small money-making thing, to keep money coming in so he could keep researching African music. It became such a charming thing that now it's sort of worldwide, and people have stolen his idea, because he could never patent it very well, because it's basically a folk instrument. But his main contribution towards the instrument is in the redesign of the keyboard, because if you try to play a scale on a piano with two thumbs, you get tied up right away.
Right.
On this one, the scale starts on the left, moves to the right thumb, to the left, the right, left, right, left, right. And that means, with just two thumbs, you can play a pretty rapid scale. That, of course, Dave, is if you're all thumbs.
Oh. Yeah, thank you.
At least I found someone who recognizes the joke when one comes up.
Now, what would you say your contribution to musicology and musical instruments has been over the past couple of decades?
Well, minimal, but what I do, one of my shows I do for kids in schools is on Africa and the culture of Africa, and, we hear enough bad news about Africa in the newspaper all the time. So my job is to talk about the good stuff that comes out of Africa, and there's so much good stuff that my dad found. I mean, he found it worthwhile making a study his whole life of African music and African culture. And so I'm presenting some of my dad's recordings of African music. I'm playing some of the instruments, demonstrating them. I'm telling one of the stories that my dad collected in Zimbabwe, great African stories. The same stories, actually, that came across with the slaves and turned into Brer Rabbit. But on the way over, unfortunately, all those slaves lost their original languages. They were forced to learn English. And language and music are so closely associated that they lost all the stories. And they just lost the music in the stories. Right. And Brer Rabbit doesn't have little songs in it, which all the African stories do, practically all of them. Huh. Some of the stories, they're coming slightly back into style. They were out of fashion for a while.
Is there a short
There was one about the tar baby.
Well, Well, you hear a word like that in America, and you'll automatically bristle, even though it's not supposed to, It just,
right. I mean, you've got to be so careful to be politically correct. But the tar baby in Africa, instead of getting stuck in this tar, they use bird lime. And that's the stuff that you put on a branch and a bird gets stuck in it.
Oh. Why would you do that?
If you want to eat the bird, you have to catch it.
Yeah, okay, that's a good
and
point.
There's protein starvation in Africa. People need meat very badly.
So they would throw lime up onto the branches, and then the birds would get stuck, and they'd go up and pull the birds off and eat them.
Exactly right. Now, I've been having trouble in my backyard with squirrels.
Yeah?
They've been eating everything in my backyard here in California. And I've had all sorts of advice how to deal with them. My brother was the one who reminded me about bird lime, but I don't know of anyone who actually sells bird lime in California. So, and I don't think I want to argue with a angry squirrel stuck in bird lime.
Yeah, what would you do once you got them up there? And it's like, okay, there's a squirrel, he's stuck. It'd be horrible. You just wait for them to be dead so you can pluck them off.
No, it would be actually hopeless. I
look out your window every morning, and it's like, the squirrels are dying today. I think this one has one more day. That one's dropping off.
Terrible.
What an image.
And they're so cute, the squirrels, but the damage they do, because I like to grow gourds.
Oh.
My garden here. People are amazed that I can grow gourds. They also have no idea that I can grow loofahs.
Really? I thought those were like underwater because they're sponges.
Yeah, everyone does because somebody stupidly named them loofah sponges. And so sponges grow in the ocean.
Right.
Loofahs grow, they look rather like cucumbers, and they grow on vines in the back garden.
Just like the gourds do.
Yes.
But if the squirrels get at them, basically you're out of your gourds. So
exactly. Now, for 10 years, the squirrels had no idea that there were seeds inside the gourds. Then someone figured it out. One of those squirrels figured it out, and ever since then I hadn't had another gourd. They eat them before I can get them.
Oh, my.
So that's why I have my favorite enemy today is the backyard squirrel.
Oh, Lord. We're talking, by the way, with Paul Tracey about all sorts of things, as you can see. We're having a wonderful time. I wish we had a little more time. But I want to get back to a couple of things. First of all, the fact that you were on that TV show from my childhood. How did you get involved in CBS TV's The Patchwork Family?
I think maybe it started a little earlier when I was on out here we call it Channel 28. It's a public station in New York. And I was part of a little acting group that were acting out folk stories.
Oh.
And one day, the producers knew that we had folk songs. He said, do you have a song for our theme this week, which is Wishing? And I said, oh, yeah, I've got this great song. It's, oh, I wish I had the shepherd's lamb, the shepherd's lamb, the shepherd's lamb. I wish I had the shepherd's lamb and Katie from her father. And it's, nice old Irish tune.
Yeah.
He said to me, no, I don't like it. Write another one. And I said, well, hang on a second. That was a folk song. I didn't write that. He said, it's okay. Write another one. So I went home and I wrote a wishing song and came back the next day and sang it to him, and he liked it. I wish I had a coat of silk, the color of the sky. And it was a song that later Jim Henson picked up and put on the Muppet Show. And that was really nice because the Muppets in those days were playing to 130 countries, I think.
Right.
And so even today, I still get 5 cents from Nigeria once in a while.
So do I, and no particular reason. No.
Royalties. I mean, there's nothing. Royalties, because you feel like a king, that's why you get royalties.
Ooh, very nicely
There is a free lunch.
But I remember that the reason I most remember you, aside from demonstrating the instruments, was there was a song that you sang and played of your own composition on the show called Something's Missing that I thought was so clever. I think it was about 8 years old. And yet the melody stuck with me and just the whole idea of it, of an upside-down world. Yeah?
Who sent me this name, Something's Missing. And in fact, it was the name of a racehorse in England.
Oh.
And she said, I found this name. It sounds like a title for a song for Paul. So she sent me the title, and I wrote the song that went with it. And then she wrote to me later and said, Something's Missing. It never wins. But it's done me very well, I must say. That's one of the songs I do keep singing.
Yeah, it's a very winning song, actually. We're going to play it to go out here with Paul Tracey. But I got one more question for you, and I guess I've got to kind of go to, I wouldn't say something slightly negative, because it was a positive thing, but I assume you were in California when finally there was regime change in South Africa.
Uh-huh.
Were you, what were your feelings about that? Were you in contact with your family, making sure there were no riots and stuff? Did you have mixed feelings, or how was it at that time?
Actually, it was quite brilliant. The fact that they could change power in the government without major bloodshed was really a major triumph. And I give an incredible amount of credit to Mandela, who was, just a world-class statesman. I wish we had more around like him today. I mean, even the current people in South Africa are simply not up to what he was. I mean, I admire him tremendously for having achieved that.
How often do you go back?
Not too often. My brother and I tend to meet in Europe because it's halfway for both of us.
Right, okay.
In California, it's the best part of 24 hours to fly there, and it's a killer on the body and the jet lag and everything.
Wow. Well, but I'm certainly glad that you're in the States, and certainly if you're ever on the Northeast, you are welcome to come and visit the neighborhood with any instrument you bring. Well, except your organ, but that's something else.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with the wonderful and delightful Paul Tracey. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Dave.
I've got 2 wheels on my tricycle and 4 toes on each foot. I've got 6 days in my week, and up with this I will not put. I'm a bath without a plug, and I'm a handle with no jug. I'm a kiss without a hug unless you're near me. I've got 3 strings on my violin, and I'm an only twin. Something's missing, something's missing, something's Now my cat has only got 8 lives. He chases 2 blind mice. On my birthday when I get 3 cheers, they only cheer me twice. I'm an oil well with no oil, and I'm a plant that has no soil. I'm a kettle that won't boil unless you're near me. 2 and 2 make 3 when I add. You're an orphan, says my dad. Something's missing, something's missing, something's I've got 6 notes in my octave, and my trio has 2 men. When I go and buy a dozen eggs, they only give me 10. I'm a pub that has no drinks, and I'm a chain that's lost its links. I'm an eye that has no winks unless you're near me. I am toothpaste with no teeth, and I am a coffin with no wreath. Something's missing, something's missing, something's But whenever you come close to me, my life is all complete. For no longer do I have 4 toes, no longer 2 left feet. I'm a playground full of swings, and I'm an eagle with his wings. I'm a nightingale that sings because you're near me. Now, my love, I beg you stay, 'cause when you stay, then I can say, nothing's missing, nothing's missing, nothing's missing.
Inside Broadway, brought to you by Total Theater's Performing Arts Insider, your everything theater guide. Yes, Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway, for more than 65 years now. Rather amazing, and still going very, very strong. Bringing you Inside Broadway on this edition of Dave's Gone By on this March 2nd, 2008. Starting with not so good news, a show that I liked a whole bunch called Is He Dead, which is, wait, let me get your mic up, Jeff, yeah?
Soon to be buried.
Yeah, it's dying, unfortunately. This is a play that was written, 100 and something years ago by Mark Twain, that was excavated.
Otherwise known as Samuel Clemens.
Yeah, and he, I don't know if it was ever performed. It was just like a desk play. He was going through a very, very hard time in his life. I think he had a death in the family or depression or something like that. And he wrote this, and it was kind of a pick-me-up. It was out of the blue, a wild, kooky, funny farce. Nobody did it. Now they found it. Like some researchers at college, they gave it to David Ives, the guy who wrote All in the Timing and that New Jerusalem that they're trying to bring to Broadway. And he adapted it, he rewrote it, and it's really, really funny, and nobody's going to see it. So it's closing on March 9th.
The press agent wouldn't let anyone in.
Well, yeah, go give him hell, Jeff.
Well, I keep trying to call about this show, and they call back later, call back later. Meanwhile, they're selling out to 35% audiences.
Right.
And then they announced last week, they said, can I please cover it at least? Oh, no, they're not interested now that it's closing. It's
such a joke. I mean, if they want press, if they want people on the air being able to talk and comment about these things, ridiculous. But anyway, it is going to close. You know why? Because it is, as we intimated last week, a show that I thought was going to another theater is actually going in there real quick. Patrick Stewart's going to be playing Macbeth.
Oh, that's right.
And it's this modern, weird, kind of scary version that is still at Brooklyn Academy of Music. Got some great reviews. So they're going to bring it to Broadway for a limited run of 8 weeks at that theater. So
and maybe Is He Dead will revive after that.
No, I think it's booked for something else after.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been nice, though, if they took that show and said, okay, we'll hold off on it, if you could go on a little hiatus with the shows. Like they're doing that with Forbidden Broadway.
What's that?
Well, Forbidden Broadway, was it Spring?
Rude Awakening.
Yeah. Is closed temporarily. It's going on tour. It's like down in Florida and stuff like that. And it'll come back.
Yeah, they've done that once before. It's a cool idea. I mean, they take the cast, they go, and then I guess they go in the months when the traffic might not be so big for them, and then they come back in the fall.
And they toured around the country.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of shows that are doing okay, there's a series of one-act plays called Almost an Evening that's directed by Ethan Coen. He's one of the Coen brothers who did those movies like Fargo and Big Lebowski, and the Best Picture winner this year, which is
No Country for Old Men.
So he directed these plays of his. It's moving to the Bleecker Street Theater for a run through June 1st. Now, it featured F. Murray Abraham, Mark Lynn Baker. They're going to move with the show.
Oh, excellent.
Elizabeth Marvel is not. She's, I guess, too busy or doing something else.
She's marvelous.
And, by the way, Sunday in the Park with George, which we will talk about hopefully next week, or if not, then the week after, that has extended to June 1st. So that's
good news.
Yeah. Also,
And also, didn't another show extend?
What extended? Yeah. Yes, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. The show has not even opened yet. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, the all-black version, opens March 6th, and they've extended it now till at least July.
Well, black people now know that liquor is not good.
I don't get it.
Isn't it all about being an alcoholic and a lot of that?
Actually, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof is more... No, you're thinking of Come Back Little Sheba.
No.
No, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, which is also a half-black cast, but this is all black. It's James Earl Jones, Felicia Rashad.
But doesn't was it Brick becomes an alcoholic?
Well, he uses alcohol because he's basically gay and he doesn't want to admit it to his wife, and his lover, that kind of thing. Anyway, Terrence Howard, one of the reasons it was going to be a limited run was that Terrence Howard had a movie contract that he couldn't get out of. So they found a replacement for him when he goes away for a little bit, named Boris Kodjoe. Do you know this person? He's a model of some kind?
Oh, I didn't know. I just heard on the radio.
Yeah. So that's how they're able to extend now the run of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof until July, at least, on Broadway. And it's opening this week on March 6th. And let's see, the Musicals and Mufti concert series, which is basically they take musicals and they do them in a very dressed-down, staged reading kind of a way.
They do it in a Mufti way.
Well, whatever that actually means, that's what it means.
It's bare bones musicals.
What does Mufti actually stand for?
It's bare bones music.
Well, okay, is that the word Mufti, what it means? Or
a musical uninterrupted for today's interruptions.
I don't even know. Okay. Anyway, they're going to be honoring Larry Grossman, who is, he's... Okay, kind of a second-level kind of a guy. These are the musicals that he was involved with.
Mrs. Grossman doesn't think so.
No, all right. He's wrote the songs for Minnie's Boys, Good Time Charlie, that was the Joel Grey musical, Grind, which was a immediate flop, but might have good stuff in it.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, and So they're going to be doing those. They're going to bring those back just for a weekend to do them in Mufti style, as well as a brand new review of Larry Grossman's songs with him on stage at the piano. And let's see, the Grind is going to have a revised book, so hopefully they'll work out whatever the problems were with that show while they're doing it. And finally, here's to the ladies who sing Sondheim. April 7th at the Schoenfeld Theater on Broadway. It's the 35th anniversary benefit for the acting company. So among the people performing will be Angela Lansbury, Laura Benanti, Jenna Russell, who's now in Sunday in the Park, Deborah Monk from Curtains, Patti LuPone.
I'm hoping Elaine Stretch.
No, they don't mention her.
Stretchy isn't going to be there?
And speaking of Sunday in the Park, John Doyle will be directing this benefit. Tickets range from $100 to $250, which for a benefit is not bad. I used to think it was, who pays $100 for a night of a benefit? Now it's cheaper than a Broadway ticket. And that's what's staggering to me. But anyway, it's 11:58 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. I want to come back and talk about some letters that we got to this show over the past week, plus to close the show with Dave Goes Out. Got to do that after these fine messages. We've just been inside Broadway, thanks to TotalTheater.com and Performing Arts Insider.
Hello, this is Paul Tracey. I'm known as the Wandering Minstrel. That's my life, just wandering around entertaining. And tonight we're on Dave's Gone By on WGBB.
Yes, we are, Paul Tracey. Wonderful, wonderful talking to him and playing his music on this episode of Dave's Gone By as Jeff sips his little beverage, and Joe is going to help us with this next segment. Joe Salzone is with us. Okay. And, by the way, it's midnight on WGBB Freeport. I had to do that little bit of legality there.
Oh, that was so good, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, letters. We get letters. And very cool. One of the letters that we got was from the mother of a guest who was on this program. She was also on it briefly, too. She was part of the interview as well. When we talked to the singer-songwriter Issa, formerly known as... I know. Formerly known as James Siberry, and I sent them cassette CDs of the shows after they were put on CD, which, by the way, everybody can buy, care of davesgoneby.org. Every episode is on CD, only $10.
So if you have a burning desire to rehear one of these things.
That's right.
But I think for $10 you could probably invite Dave over for dinner, give him $10 and he'll just talk to you for
Pretty much. Oh, yeah. I'm easy that way. So, Joe is going to read the letter from... Be dramatic about it. This is from Issa's mother.
I will do my best.
That's Issa Senior?
Actually, her name isn't even Siberry. That's a whole different family. Yeah. Don't use the last name. But
the mother's name is Shirley.
Shirley, yes.
Shirley writes, "Greetings, Dave. Many thanks for sending me copies of Issa's interview. I enjoyed talking to you. You were such a master at it. I forgot it was an interview and forgot to be nervous." In brackets, she writes, I thought she wrote waster instead of master.
No, that was for me to sort of... That was my notes there.
Okay. Those are my notes, you mean? So.
Yeah, okay.
She told me she was interested, Shirley continues, in meeting you in person later. Really appreciate your trouble to send them. Sincerely, Shirley.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Shirley. And yeah, and certainly Issa has an open invitation to stop by the neighborhood and visit and play some music for us.
Stop calling me Shirley.
Now, our second letter came from...
Mae Pearson.
Oh, no, this is a criticism. Let me set this one up. She had obviously been in touch with Paul Tracey, our guest today, and Paul had sent her the promo that we send out about the show. There's an email that we send to listeners and people who just don't even care, but they get the email anyway.
Yes, you send them to all 5 of my email accounts, and I read them
each time. Thank you. So there was nothing terribly whatever about my emails. It just tells you who's going to be on the show. Well, someone was.
Right. Faye from England writes, "Dear Dave, I was so sorry to see that you suggested that Paul Tracey had so plummeted. What a tackle's way to put it. You were bound to have him hurt dreadfully. It was just the way you said it. How would you like that to be said of you?"
Say about me all the time.
What did you say, Faye?
Please consider how you make amends for his feelings. Faye Pearson, Portsmouth, England.
Well, watch the last names. But yeah, Faye from Portsmouth, England. Well, first of all, I wrote back to her and I said...
What did you say in the thing?
In the email, one of the things that we do in the emails a lot is that we give the credits of the person so people know who our guest is going to be. And then we say, and now, after they've done all this, now they're appearing on my show, so obviously they need a new agent. So it makes them sound like they've come down hugely in the world. She got the joke, but she didn't like the joke. She felt I was somehow denigrating him.
I think what Faye is trying to tell you is that you are just such a bigger star than even you think he is, that it is just a privilege to be in the neighborhood. Well,
she's right. I may have to change the tone of that. I may have to think of a new way of being funny about guests without making the show look...
You could try being funny.
Oh my God! There goes Joe's mic. Oh no!
So much for your ombudsman.
What the hell is an ombudsman anyway?
In government, an ombudsman is someone who represents the people to the government.
Oh.
In the context of a show, I basically just critique you.
Okay, that's true.
Representing the people, I'm sure.
I represent your audience, both of them.
Oh, that's frightening. Okay. Actually, my audience is in this room right now. All right, now we got one more letter. It's a long one. We may pluck and skim, but this is from... This was a happy letter. This wasn't about Dave's Gone By. This is about the big time that we do earlier in the evening, where I play music and talk and just take phone calls, whatever.
Right.
And last week I played...
Freeform.
Which is the kind of radio I love. Right. Yeah. So are the gospel people here yet? No. Okay, so read this very slowly.
They heard the last hour. Tom writes, Dave, thanks a lot. I really appreciate your effort and concern. Your programming was really good. It's such a relief from so much of the worthless mainstream radio. Obviously, you have a real love for music with substance, and music is a big part of your happiness. You're very fortunate. Music will help you through life in addition to all the happiness it gives. The particularly little song I asked you about made me smile and feel good for a few moments. How good can it get? Unfortunately, I'm up here on the North Shore, and I can't normally get your station, but when I make my frequent trips down to Baldwin, I'll be tuning you in. I think the last time I tried to find you from a radio show host...
What? No, read that.
I'm sorry, I misread that. I think the last time I tried to find out from a radio host, quote, what that was because it just blew me away, end quote, was what I found out to be a Lou Reed doing My Guardian Angel from the Black Raven album. Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's called The Raven, but yeah. I think, well, I'm correcting him, not you. No, but he was wrong about the name of the title.
Then it should be The Black, bracket, SIC, end bracket, Raven.
He's also going to mistitle a Tom Waits album in a couple of lines. But okay, keep going.
Oh, yeah, that's how I...
You tell the future.
discovered Tom Waits is a Jewish thing. Years ago, I heard this piece called Mule Skin Variations, and I had to know who that was! Exclamation.
Actually, it's Mule Sick Skin, or Mule Skin Sick Variant, because there's no skin. Anyway, yeah, okay.
I was lucky when I was
young.
young.
You have a fan. Don't criticize him.
I know. I'm terrible that way. Yeah.
I did college and the Army during the 60s, and music was everything in those days.
I didn't even do college in the Army in the 70s.
So while they were happening and before they became stars and legends, I got to see a lot of artists in concert in small,
way cool.
intimate, and affordable settings. This was before big rock concerts and stadiums. I used to go to a place called the Electric Factory in Philadelphia. I've actually heard of that place. And saw the Velvet Underground several times. A group called the Blues Project first opened me up. Things like this were at the very beginning when music was just changing. There was only doo-wop and folk music was the only real alternative. I added the word real. That's my editorial slant.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Thank you, Ombudsman.
SIC in brackets.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Then I got to see...
Ombudsman in brackets, yes.
Then I got to see Dylan several times, Bob Dylan in small auditoriums, Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix in concert too. It was a lot of great music, and I was very fortunate to have experienced some of these people live in concert before anyone even knew who they were. Tracy Chapman's Matters of the Heart just grabbed me, and I had to find out. So I really thank you for your consideration in responding. It meant a lot to me. Thanks again, Tom.
Well, thank you, Tom. Thanks for writing in. And that's why I play the music that I play. Well, sometimes I have to grab for a CD and get something on real quick. But when I plan it out, or sometimes when I choose the CDs to bring to the station, the idea is somebody's going to be listening who's not just tuning aimlessly on the dial or looking for the new Britney Spears hit. They want to hear something that may be part of their lives for the rest of their lives. A song that could just change them or hit them somehow.
Welcome to the neighborhood where we care about your ears.
Well, you know, I do.
We
I
think
wouldn't
of your
be in
mind
radio
as well as your ears.
Yeah.
And you know, if you out there in Radioland, which is a sublet of the Twilight Zone, would like this ombudsman to stay here every week to critique Dave, to help Dave, really.
Yeah.
To represent the people, call in.
631-888-8811 is the phone number at the radio station.
Unless, of course, you'd like to discuss whether Dave is gay or not.
You can do that, too. Well, no, not in gospel time. 631-888-8811 is the phone number. Now, actually, Jeff, you don't have to shut up because we've covered a lot of stuff
you've
here.
hurt my feelings.
Oh,
good.
Well, tit for tat. There we go.
You never saw. No.
Oh, now. So guys, what's
What? Oh, dear God.
Jeff is wearing a microphone cover on his ear. I don't know why.
It hasn't been washed since the Carter administration.
His ear or the microphone, both. Yes, I know.
Goes back to the days of Coolidge.
Well, you know what? Let's also just do our sponsors again, just so everybody knows.
Is that how they become sponsors? You do them?
It's the only way anybody's going to 10% off for Dave's Gone By listeners at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the copy kings of Broadway.
Says the Queen.
1315 Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island.
They're next to Loman Shoes.
And across the street from the regular Lomans, right on the South Shore.
Queen. Where you get big bargains.
Anywho, now, mortgagesrock.com.
They just do.
Now, it's not just a place where you can get financing. It's where you can learn to be a mortgage broker and get, as if anybody's buying a house right now, but things will turn around.
It's a really good time to buy a house.
I got a call from the bank asking me if I wanted to refi, because,
it's a great time to refi, too.
I'm thinking about it, that I don't want to deal with the basic upfront costs and fees and all that, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it through mortgagesrock.com.
There you go.
Discount funding associates.
Because they also show you a way where you can incorporate your fees right into your mortgage.
Over the course of the length of the mortgage?
Yes. So you can do that at mortgagesrock.com. They will show you all sorts of... I've actually used them, and they will help you with everything.
Because my mortgage is... we had a decent deal. We were at 7 and change.
So your mortgage does not rock then, Dave?
No, it should be at 5 and change.
2. Get a 2%.
You can't get a 2% mortgage anymore. Nobody's doing that. A no money down, no down payment mortgage. But anywho, did I get all the sponsors? No, I missed Performing Arts Insider, Theater Magazine, the Bible of Broadway.
It's the B-U-I-B-L-E of Broadway.
It's the B-I. No, I don't know.
It's by?
PerformingArtsInsider.com is the place to find out how you can get a discount annual subscription to Performing Arts Insider. 1 month, only $120. That's $45 off the regular price.
I've never seen anyone beat themselves up with a microphone before.
Jeff is a little punch drunk here. So, Jeff, do your thing.
Oh, please call Fancy Schmancy Balloons. We're good for all your party needs.
It doesn't sound too
have a really happy party.
Well,
you're going to have a happy party.
And do people get a discount this week if they call in and mention Dave's Gone By?
No.
No discount? Well, wait till next week. Well, you might not be here next week, so
that's okay. Next week you can give the discount.
Okay. I won't do more than like 25%
discount.
Yeah, free? No.
Okay. No one calls in.
But
Jeff will pay you if you call.
Tell people why they should use Fancy Schmancy Balloons for their parties.
Because I need the business and I'm lonely.
That's as good a reason as any. 516-797-3229. 797-3229.
Please call.
For Fancy Schmancy
Even
Balloons.
if you don't want to order balloons, just call anyway.
Now, reminding everybody also that Shalom, damn it, Rabbi Saul Solomon's show airs Wednesday mornings at 7:30 on Woodbury Cable.
That Dave's Gone By Live is also on Friday.
Friday mornings at 7:30 for a while longer. We'll see how much.
Just a black screen with the words "Dave's Gone By"
on it and sound. In
I caught it recently.
I just didn't have the time and effort to put that into that one.
Yeah. Well, it's really just the audio of the show, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But
can't we run cartoons or something over it?
Well, if they're copyrighted or something. If you want to draw some cartoons, you could.
Sure.
Okay, sure. So, you want to make the effort.
I'll tell you what. I'll film myself inflating balloons.
Oh my God! I hope that's not a euphemism.
I can play "I'm in the Mood for Love" while you're doing. Those big long animal balloons.
We're not here until 6 o'clock.
No, but we could do Fancy Schmancy Balloons as Dave's Gone By goes on in the background. I'll show people.
Might be interesting.
I'll make
But there are two things I wanted to say also about Shalom Dammit and Rabbi Saul Solomon. Just two. The first one is that reminding everyone, as we said at the top of the show, that Shalom Dammit's going to be on New York cable TV starting March 16th, Sunday afternoons at 1:30.
So you know that if you're listening to this on your radio, you don't live in New York.
Well, Sunday afternoons at 1:30 on Channel 67 on MNN. It's Manhattan Neighborhood Network.
So remember, on those beautiful spring afternoons, what you really want to do is sit inside and listen to.
Well, you know, if you're heading to the theater at a 3:00 show, you watch Shalom Dammit. It's a cool way to spend a half an hour. Pretty funny with Rabbi Saul Solomon. The other thing I wanted to tell you, thank you, about Rabbi Saul is that he will be on next week's episode of Dave's Gone By. He's going to be a special interviewing guest. He will be interviewing an actress who has gotten 4 Tony nominations, 2 Emmy nominations. Who is it, Jeff?
Tova Felsen.
The one and only from Yentl, from Sarava, from the...
Bring me a tenor.
Lend me a tenor. She was Tony nominated for that.
That's right.
And she was also Emmy nominated for her role in the TV series Holocaust.
And also played Golda in Golda's Bounty.
Well, she was amazing. That totally, I always thought of her as this really cute, kind of young, and then she came back with that role. I was like, great show. Great one. It's the longest running one-woman show in Broadway history.
So we tell her Tova Tov.
Tova, well, she's going to be appearing, I forgot to mention this, I'll mention it now, at Feinstein's at Lowe's Regency, starting next week. It's for the next 2 weeks. So she will be there from March 4th to March 15th.
I love March 4th, because it's the only day that's actually a verb.
Oh, wow, okay. Wait, I get it, March 4th. Is that really the only one? First, second, third, fourth? Now I got to think this one out. 8, 9, March.
Except for April.
Well, 8. Maybe something with 8. Jan 8. A lot. That could work. No? No. April 8. April 8, a big meal.
But it'd be 8th.
Oh, all right, fine.
Because it really is March 4th.
4th, okay, the March 4th. Anyway, that's when Tova Felchu starts.
And it's also 3-4.
So what?
In 2005, it was 3-4-05.
Jeff gets into these numerical things. It's like, this is why we were talking about therapy, or if you were listening 2 hours ago. Wow, 2 hours ago. And anyway, actually, I don't know why I'm trying to rush things. We should be killing time now. So, please continue.
We're not going to stay until 6 o'clock, are we?
Look, we could.
I could.
Let's sing gospel. Let's put on the gospel.
Can we sing along?
No. Surprised James hasn't called in yet.
Well, let's not call him. Let's
we can talk at least for until 12:30. I think that'd be fun. So anyway, but let me get through all the other things. So next week, Tova Feldshuh on this program, interviewed by Rabbi Saul Solomon. If you have any comments and opinions before this show gets really, really weird, write to davesgoneby at AOL.com. D-A-V as in Victor, E-S, goneby at AOL.com. And for more information about the show, go to davesgoneby.org. Yes, Jeff?
Oh, I didn't...
Oh, no, you were looking at me like you were going to say something.
I told you when I have something to say, I raise my hand.
Okay. Cool. Well, you know what? Let's get the thank yous out of the way as well. I want to thank my lovely and adorable and
congratulations.
No, my wife Joyce Weil,
who's not pregnant.
Who's not?
Because Dave's not gay.
Right. Okay. I was just letting that balloon sink slowly into the west. It's been this running joke that wasn't funny to begin, and now you're switching it to try and be nicer, but it's still not funny. So
didn't you chastise me for sucking up to Dave?
No.
Up? Oh, up.
Sucking up.
Okay.
Sucking up.
Okay. Just checking.
And on that note, can we thank your parents for listening?
Well, my dad listens every week pretty much.
I love you.
He might be asleep by now, but he does. Dad, if you're awake and listening,
give us a call.
It's 12:17 a.m. and we're here. So
and it's 12:17 a.m. Mr. Lefkowitz, get some sleep.
631-888-8811 is the phone number. 631-888-8811, or anybody who's listening.
How about the comic guy?
Comic book novice guy, if he still has us on his cell phone. I don't think he's going to be hearing us in upstate New York at the moment. Be nice, but
that's right. He only heard us because he was on the...
So let's talk... first of all, thank Joe Salzone for being here. Thank Jeff Goodman for being here. Thank you, Paul Tracey. All that.
Take
now,
it totally for granted.
We have this may be my dad. Maybe he'll want, or who knows who this will be. WGBB, Dave's Gone By. You're on the air.
Yes, you said I should call in, so here I am.
Hold on, I have to put on my ears on.
Jeff is putting his ears on. Joe's packing up. Joe doesn't want to be part of this any longer.
Who is it? Is this your father?
Yes, my dad.
Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Fine, fine. Well, you're telling me to call in, so?
Yeah.
See, we were listening to you.
And he was listening to us. So how did you like Paul Tracey? How'd you like Paul Tracey?
An excellent guest.
Yeah, wasn't he cool?
Delightful. Very nice man.
Yeah. So how was your week?
Very nice.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
That's my dad.
Oh, so you like me?
Now you know where I get it from.
No,
You're retired. You're a retired pharmacist, right?
No.
Okay.
Retired court clerk.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? What court did you work in?
The Appellate Division, First Department.
Was that in Hempstead?
No,
I mean,
that was in Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan. What trials? Do you have any good trials?
No,
Oh, seriously.
we don't handle trials. What we handled were appeals.
Well, any good appeals?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do?
We had a lot of good appeals, as a matter of fact.
Did you have the Son of Sam?
No, we had the Beatles case,
What Beatles case?
the Apple litigation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You remember, I remember you telling me
The
one
apple
time
didn't fall far from that tree.
you saw you know who sitting where in the court, or where was he?
Who was it, John Lennon?
Yeah. Dad?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that wasn't in the courtroom, as a matter of fact. What had happened was, this was when I was working at the law firm. I was making the rounds at night to find out if anybody was going to have work that evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I opened and they were representing one side in the litigation. And I opened the door, and lo and behold, there's John Lennon sitting there with one of the attorneys from the office.
Where was Yoko?
I don't know.
Well, what year is this roughly we're talking about?
Oh, well, let's see. It would probably be about 74, I guess.
Okay.
And it was a regular routine, that I would do every day. I'd go around to all the offices and find out who was going to have work that night. So what I did was I just opened the door, I looked in, and the attorney nods his head, or shakes his head no, and I motioned that I got the answer.
Right.
And Lennon was cracking up because not a word was said.
Did you get an autograph?
It was not would not have been appropriate. I wish I had.
Exactly. Exactly. It was inappropriate.
I would have said, "Can I have a picture with you? Let's get the White Album out and let's go to Abbey Road."
Hey, do you remember who was that financier who went bust? Big time money.
What did he do?
I split a corned beef sandwich with him the night he lost his fortune.
Well, not the lottery guy that Jeff's always talking. Not Curtis. The
No. It was a very famous financier.
DeLorean? No.
But the thing is, when these people go belly up,
they have corned beef for sandwiches with you?
No, we had ordered in because they were working late. But when they go belly up, it's not like you or I, if, God forbid, we got into financial straits.
Oh, God forbid, yeah.
Right?
They just lose their third and fourth home.
A couple of days later, I'm walking in the street near the office, and here comes the chauffeur-driven limousine, and guess who's in the back?
This guy.
Yeah, him.
Right.
So they actually get limo drives to declare bankruptcy.
Well, back then, bankruptcy, I think, was just like something you did. Something didn't work out. You fudged a couple of numbers. Everybody else took the hit, and it just, you walked away from it. I had a friend like that. His family went bankrupt, and you wouldn't know it. I mean, it wasn't like they suddenly went on austerity, sold a house, or anything. It didn't affect them at all.
Well, but with my background, going bankrupt or going broke was like a terrible disaster. And
well, we have a nickname for going bankrupt now. We call it going David.
Going David?
Yeah.
It means having no money, yeah. Pretty
Oh,
much.
that's nice. That's good to hear. A
By the
father
way-
loves to hear that about his son.
Well, he's nice. He's poor. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's a pretty typical problem, yeah.
Can I ask you questions about David when he was younger?
I don't guarantee I'll answer it, but
I
you
don't guarantee your mic is going to stay on, so yeah. What's the question?
Was David strange as a child?
Oh,
what?
David strange as a child?
Strange?
Did he ever exhibit like any abnormal behavior?
Constantly. Endlessly.
Did you ever think that David might be gay?
Oh, no.
No? Well, a lot of the listeners do.
He was delightful.
Well, there you go.
As a matter of fact,
Tell us, come on, he's not listening now. Tell me a story about David when he was young, a funny story. Did he like ever eat his poop or something like that?
no.
What's the silliest thing Dave ever did? What would be embarrassing to him?
When we used to put him in the crib at night, and then all of a sudden I would hear these loud noises, bangs, and I went to see what was making such a noise. And he would stand on the outside of the crib. Dave, I hope this is going to make you angry.
I was off mic there from talking to Joe, but okay.
He said it's fine.
Okay.
He would stand outside on a chair and jump in, fortunately, not out, into the crib over the side.
How athletic.
Yeah.
He was like a high jumper.
I don't know where he got the idea.
I was preparing for bone jumping. Ooga! No, I don't know what that means.
Not bad, not bad.
No, it wasn't terrible.
Wait, let me just break in here because Joe's got to head out, so I wanted to say hi to everybody and thank him so much.
Breaking news, Joe's leaving the studio.
And never to return.
No, just kidding.
Promise?
I haven't seen you in a long time.
He's saying that Mike isn't. He can't hear you, Dad.
Oh, we'll give him my best.
My dad sends his best, to you, especially, and we send your love to your dachshunds.
Thank you, Mr. Lefkowitz.
Well, you know, Dave had to tread very carefully because it was a question: we keep Dave or get a dog.
Oh.
So,
what kind of dog was it?
You know, if it had been a Dalmatian, they would have gone for the dog, but...
No, you remember the story about we took you once for a dog, and a smart lady.
Your parents mistook you for a dog?
They took me to adopt a dog when I was in my early teens.
Right. This woman had a litter of puppies for sale, or I don't know, she was giving them away, but whatever. Anyway, we had heard that this breed was non-allergic.
Who's allergic?
I'm sorry?
I was allergic to dogs and cats and all sorts. I was allergic to everything for many, many years.
Right.
Okay. How did you overcome that?
We had been led to believe that this particular strain or breed was non-allergic.
Okay.
It was a schnauzer, actually.
Exactly. Exactly. It was a schnauzer. And we go to the house of the woman who had the
House of Schnauzer?
the dog.
The Schnauzer house.
And she says, "Okay, I can let you have one, but I can't take it back if it doesn't work out. So I have to check first." And how did she check? I don't know if you remember this, Dave.
Well, I remember because you've told the story a few times.
He pulls down his pants and then...
She takes the dog, one of the dogs, and washes Dave's face with it. By that I mean she rubbed it all over his face. And it didn't take...
Did Dave enjoy that?
It didn't take 30 seconds. He was sneezing and coughing and having a grand old reaction.
But what was it to?
Yeah, but you know what? In retrospect, that seems like a kind of a stupid test, in just the sense that if you were to rub my face in like Mom's hair, or
You probably would have done
anything
the same
in a pillow. You take anybody's face when they're not expecting it, and you put something up to it, and you rub it back and forth, they're going to start sneezing and tearing up.
We have a little test for you, young man. Schnauzer in your face.
Well,
that's it.
It occurs to me now. It occurs to me now.
You could write a new play, a face full of schnauzer.
yeah, that's not a bad idea.
No, I mean, it was a good idea. I don't think that. I think doing that was not a fair kind of a test.
Probably not. She wasn't being scientific or anything. But
no, she was just being
she
cruel
didn't want
and
to
miserable.
Have to take the dog back.
So you were going to get a schnauzer from Cruella de Vil?
Well, she wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to, we weren't going to give it back in a week because I was unable to breathe or was sneezing all the time. I didn't have asthma. I just have very bad allergies to everything.
And now you don't.
No. Allergies can hit you at any age and they can leave at any age. They're very weird things. Now, and if
Speaking about weird things,
yeah.
Did Dave eat his vegetables when he was younger?
Oh, yeah.
Dave what?
What foods did Dave like and didn't like when he was really young?
Did you like or not like?
Did he like those beech nut strained carrots?
Oh, I liked them when I was in my 20s, actually. Those were yummy.
Well, I'll just tell you this.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the morning. Brenda and I are in bed, fast asleep.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Your father's not gay.
No, I know, all right, yeah, okay.
And
maybe you are.
And
you were snoring kind of funny because Mom's back was going up and down while you were snoring.
No.
I don't know what.
And I smell something, and I turn to Brenda, who's fast asleep, and I shake her and I say, "Are you cooking anything?" And she looks at me, and I look at her, and all of a sudden the two of us jump out of bed, go into the kitchen, and there's David at the stove. He's got a pan with rice, dry rice, and he's got the stove on.
Gas or electric?
Huh?
Gas or electric?
It was gas. It must have been a gas stove.
Yeah, I guess it was. And
open flames and David
scared the hell out of us.
I wanted to make rice pudding, I think. I didn't realize that you actually had to do something to the rice rather than just putting it in a pan.
I think he got it right.
Yeah.
He put rice
and milk.
Dry rice. No, you didn't put any.
Oh, well, I was going to add the milk after the rice got heated up. I assume that's what you did. You took rice, you got it hot, and then you added milk, and that was rice pudding.
So, P.S. As a result of that, episode,
yeah,
we wound up taking the knobs off the stove.
Well, it was like chopping my hands off at the wrist.
Did you ever think he might be a Chinese baby and he was like making fried rice?
Could be.
You know what? I shouldn't have stopped him, huh?
There you go. He could have been a chef.
He
could have been the Iron Chef.
It did smell pretty good, as a matter of fact.
Yan can't. Did it really?
No, it's a little sweet.
Okay.
Dave can't cook. He didn't know about Bill Cosby then. Pudding.
Oh, how good? Yeah.
Why? What did Bill Cosby do?
He invented Jell-O instant pudding.
He didn't invent it. He shilled for it. You know.
Oh.
That's Jell-O instant pudding. Yeah, pudding.
That's about the worst, Bill Cosby.
Oh, and you do Bill Cosby then?
No, because I don't know how to do them.
Well, I'm doing the best I can here.
That's like a deaf Bill Cosby.
Right? It's like a retarded Bill Cosby.
You're doing a brain
we like to refer to here a Dave Bill Cosby.
Just studying, pick the teeth, did the thing with it. Okay, anyway.
Did Dave ever fail any classes in school? Did he ever come close? Did he need tutors?
No. Well, no, just only in 12th grade physics. That was the closest I came to failing. Should have failed, but he curved upward. It was the one subject I could not get.
Do you remember your teacher's name?
Yeah, Mr. Mason.
You know, I didn't even know that.
Why don't you thank him now for passing you, because he curved you upward?
I thank him if he passed. Literally.
Why? He gave you. He
I had to
curved
take
you
that
up.
class for a year.
He curved you up and passed
He
you.
curved everybody, but yeah, well, all right, you should have done. But it was just
Thank
Well,
you,
it was
Mr.
either that or
Mayhew.
fail the whole class, I guess.
And then you have to do it for 2 years.
yeah. I hated physics. I just hated that
Well,
subject.
thank Mr. Mayhew for passing
all right,
you out.
thank you, Mr. Mayhew, for passing me. Okay, thank you.
And
For
who-
making
No,
physics
rather-
so boring and awful. What?
I never had physics.
Well, that's where they stick it up your... Oh, no, that's a physics.
Oh, Lord.
I know where your mind is.
Well,
Well, it's always there.
Yeah, well.
What do you want?
it is 12:39 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, on WGBB.
On this Monday morning.
Now you have a little more time to hang with us. We'll probably hang till about 1.
Because we'll sing a little gospel.
Okay.
Do you know any gospel tunes? Oh, that's frightening.
Let's play a gospel song just for fun.
All right, we'll all sing together. I'll go look for one. You talk to my dad.
Okay, so are you thrilled with his choices of avocations now? The theater and radio stuff?
You know what? I think he probably picked up the bug from his old man, because I was actually voted actor of my class, my graduating high school class from music.
Uh-huh.
And I guess I always felt that I wanted either to be on the air or acting in a movie or something. But it never came about. Instead, I took the safe path and, got a job.
And became a court clerk.
And wound up being a court clerk.
Okay, now, is there a reason why Dave's an only child?
Yeah. I was
Isn't that
only able
obvious?
to catch his mother once.
Isn't one enough?
Really, after you have David, does that really discourage you that much?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And is there, don't you want to, I still wonder why Dave doesn't have any kids. Don't you want to have grandchildren?
That's an awfully personal question.
Don't you, Jeff? Don't you want to have children?
Do you want to know something? I do and I don't. But I just don't think I'd be a great parent.
Okay.
Well, God knows I wasn't a great father.
What the hell?
Oh, no, Dave tells me you're a great father.
Yeah, what,
Well, the thing is, when most fathers are home, taking care of the family and all, I was working nights.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, but we had quality time.
Well, I try to make up for it on the weekends. If you remember, I used to take you to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
You really let the air out of my balloon one day. That was so funny. When, I forget how it came about.
Notice the fancy schmancy reference in there.
Oh, balloon, yes.
I said something about I really miss those days when we used to go to play ball on Sunday and your mom slept late. And I said we had such a good time. And what did you say?
This I don't remember.
We didn't do that.
I don't remember it being so much fun.
And this
Out goes the air from my balloon.
Yeah. Now, did you ever take Dave to work with you? Did you ever have bring your son to work day?
I don't recall that.
Oh, sure you did.
Did I?
A couple of times. Oh, absolutely. When I was in my late whatevers and my early teens.
Late whatevers?
Well, like
Well, it's those have been in the early
old
whatevers.
enough that I remember, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not just when I would come and visit you in my 20s and 30s, but I remember like once or twice when I was a kid. I remember spinning around in your chair and like being amazed at all the typewriters. And you just plunk me down in a typewriter and I'd start typing.
And that's when he
You're
wanted
dating yourself, Dave.
No, I'm not dating anybody. I'm married.
He did that for a while, too. And I heard he played with himself on that long
Oh, now
show.
stop that. Just stop that now. It's my dad we're talking to here.
That's okay.
On Dave's Gone By at 12:46
We're on
a.m.
Dave's Dad's Gone By.
This is Dave's overtime time.
Do you notice that I'm the one who has to mention that he has to thank his parents every week?
Well, that's...
He'll thank his
you gotta
lovely wife,
understand that
Joyce.
He's got other things on his mind.
But you always thank your parents.
Okay, I'll remember to thank my parents for now. I mean, I thank my wife because she often has ideas or helps me with the show. Dad actually critiques my show on Monday mornings. He's my Monday morning quarterback.
Oh, so what'd you think of the show today?
Well, he said already like Paul Tracey a whole bunch.
Uh-huh.
So that's
well, how do you like my interaction with Dave? Do you ever want to
were you on the show too?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sometimes. Do you ever want to like punch me?
What?
Do you ever feel like punching me when I interrupt Dave a lot?
Well, you want an honest answer?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm all for honesty.
There are times when I think I would like to have a button where I could mute you.
Uh-huh. That's okay. Most people would like that one.
But Dad,
I realize that you're just funnin'.
Right.
Oh, God. If I didn't love him, do you think I would schlep him all the way back home? I have to drive from Massapequa to his house round trip at 2 in the morning. If that ain't love, that's nothing.
That's right. And he buys me flowers, and, he kisses me afterwards. So it's good.
Excuse me?
No, what? I don't even know what he's
That's
talking
more
about. I'm telling you,
I
really think your son might be
I'm
gay.
not. Stop that with that already. It's not true.
Oh, I know. Your father probably hates that.
Yeah, no more than my wife and my mother, certainly. But, Dad, it's great to talk to you.
Wait, he's going to sing a little gospel.
Oh, that's right. I've got a gospel song queued up.
What are we singing?
It's a song from the Canton Spirituals, which is a bunch of fine-looking large black men.
Oh, it's not Chinese? Canton?
No, I guess not. This is a song called "Drug Me." I wonder if I've but it's a Christian. It's a gospel thingy here, from the album "Walking by Faith." Sorry, drug me, like give me drugs. Because that's what black spiritualists want to be associated with.
Okay, well, we're playing that I'm Gonna Get a Better song.
Well, here, and then let's hear "Drug Me" by the Canton somethings spiritualists.
Today we have kids being born on drugs. A lot of people hooked on prescribed medicine.
That's what Dave's not having.
My mama drugged me when I was a little boy.
No.
Now let me explain to you.
He's going to explain to us. Oh yeah, here we go.
Mama drug me to church.
Oh.
Mama drug me to Sunday school.
Oh man,
I wonder if he asked her to drug him there.
Putting you on is the only thing that will see you through.
I'm waiting for a good verse.
You don't have to sniff it, and you don't have to shoot it in your veins. Yeah.
Clap along, Dad. Get those claps going.
Mama drug me.
Oh, I gotta hold the phone.
Load.
Mama drug me to Sunday school. She said,
Mama drugged me by the hair.
I'll have you know.
Yeah.
Where my mama drugged me.
That when I was in the Air Force,
Yeah.
I was the only Jewish member of my particular squadron. So they made me the chapel guy for the Jewish troops.
Yeah.
Which meant that I had to march myself to the chapel every Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay? They needed a guide to take the new inductees who didn't know how to get to chapel to the chapel. So they asked if I'd be willing to take them, the Baptist boys, to the chapel.
So you drugged them?
And I said, sure. And I marched this little group of new inductees, and of course I waited for them, so I'm standing at the back of the church, and the Baptist minister is preaching fire and brimstone, and some of these young kids are sitting in their seats, and they're crying like crazy. And I never saw anything quite like it. Very, very effective, very emotional. But it was an experience I've never forgotten.
And you drugged them.
You drugged them to
I
that
drugged
tent.
them to church.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know where my mama drugged me?
Where'd she drug you to?
Loman's. For some shoes.
That explains some things.
Well, that's across from Minuteman Press, isn't
That's
it?
right. The Happy Kings of Broadway. Where you get 10% off if you mention Dave's Gone By.
She drugged me to the mortgage place.
Mama drugged me to Minuteman Press.
Yo. Actually, Minuteman Press is closed on Sunday, so it won't be on a Sunday.
Oh, because they didn't drug the church.
I was afraid to step in the water because I couldn't swim, and my old daddy got on one side.
And then he pushed me in.
And got on the other side.
So let me tell you, that's a very, very emotional thing to watch.
Anyway, this is Lily and Lily. I'm going to let Dad pick the song from Lily and Lily's Gotta Have Faith CD.
But they have the Gotta Have Faith song is on there like 5 times.
Is it? No, There's Always Hope is on there twice. There's also Have You Received the Whole... Oh, this is excellent. There's a misprint on the CD label.
Yeah.
Instead of Have You Received the Holy Ghost, it's Have You Received the Hoy Ghost.
Oh, they left out the L.
Yeah, either that or it's Spanish. Have you received today's ghost? It's the ghost of Hoy. Let's see, track 6. Señor Jeff, ¿tú habéis recibido el Hoy Ghost? Sí. Aquí es el Hoy Ghost. Oya.
Have you received the Holy Ghost? Have you received the Holy Ghost? Have you received the Holy Ghost? Have you received the
Music has a powerful effect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can imagine being in a church when this is going on.
Yes, I
Dying
can.
to go to a Southern Baptist church. I love this, by the way.
I attended a service in a Baptist church.
Did you receive the whole
Very effective.
But, yeah, but if you don't believe, it's still just going to be like an experience.
But it's fun, and it's a good thing. It's turn it up.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
The Holy Ghost came like a mighty rushing wind.
Yeah.
I guess his wife must have been happy. I don't know what that means.
Today?
This reminds me of, what was it, the Blues Brothers?
Well, yeah, that kind of...
No, this is
the end
like,
of Blues Brothers.
what was the
Remember
Whoopi
the scene
Goldberg
when
movie?
they go to church?
Yes, Sister Act also. Yeah. Yes.
I like her. Who is this?
This is Lillian Lilly.
I love her. I knew when the name was the same place.
Gotta Have Faith from Malaco Records.
Love it.
Oh, she's singing with the Anderson Sanctuary Choir. Sanctuary, Sanctuary. Woo! Yes, we have LIPA. We receive the power as long as I pay my bills.
And a little bit of gas. I got the power.
I think they need the power. Yeah. Who's got the power? Do you have the power?
Got the power.
They got the power.
I got the power. Got the power.
You got the power?
Got the power and a little bit of gas.
You have a little bit. That's a problem. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. See, that's the thing. I can listen to one of those, and it's cool, and it gets me jumping. If I listen to 3 of those
I
songs,
want to hear the first cut of that, though.
You want to hear "Gotta Have Faith"?
Yeah.
The title track.
The title
of
track.
"Gotta Have Faith" from Lillian Lilly.
I like
Okay, we're
Lillian
gonna pull
Lilly.
this back. Here comes more Lillian Lilly for you.
An encore of Lillian Lilly. That beat, dance to it. Hey, Lillian.
It evokes an image of the Blues Brothers. Remember the scene where they're dancing in the church?
Yeah, that was towards. It was Aretha Franklin was the preacherette or whatever they call her. That was her scene, right?
No, actually, it was...
Shirley Caesar, maybe?
No. It was... Who's that male singer, the one who went to jail?
Oh, Little Richard.
No.
No.
Oh, the one who married the teenagers?
Jerry Lee Lewis?
No. No. Black.
Black went to jail? I don't see that happening.
Wait, who is... A rock and roll singer. James Brown.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the hardest working man in show business.
And I'm show business, yeah.
He is so cool. You watch his feet when he's performing. Man, I could watch him for hours.
Well, James Brown was incredibly amazing. I mean, I'm not into gospel music. I could listen to James Brown doing funk and R&B, but the gospel,
you don't like this?
No.
What is the name?
This is Lillian Louis.
I like Lillian Louis.
Doing Gaga Have Faith. Gotta Have Faith. It's 3 times on the front cover, so I think this is the track to move.
It delivers a good message.
Well, all the gospel stuff is supposed to deliver a good message. That's what it's there for. You know.
Well, I think Mama Drugged Me was kind of...
Mama drugged me to church. Mama drugged me and pulled my hair out my head.
But this is really what I like in gospel music. I like this kind of...
Okay, yeah.
Making the joyful noise.
Very infectious.
Yeah. I just find it, very sane to me. I guess if you're into the music, like everything else, there are people who love disco and they can listen to a dozen disco songs and they all sound different. To me, after the third one, I'm like, okay.
Oh, I love
Do you remember when the song Mockingbird first came out?
Mock, hey-ya, hooping, hey-ya,
Yeah.
bird,
Yeah.
hey-ya.
With James Taylor and Carl Chapman.
Hey-ya.
Yeah.
I could listen to that over and over and over. I don't know
You did.
why.
No, it's a great
Everybody, have you heard? Come on, he's going to buy me.
Yeah, but
a mockingbird.
there's only one James Taylor album I can listen to from beginning to end. And even that one gets kind of dull towards it. That's his first album.
Well, I didn't listen to the album, just that particular song, which got to be a hit.
Well, yeah, it was deserved. No, but it's different from falling in love with a song and wanting to hear it over and over to a whole genre of music that I just kind of find like, okay, I get it, and it's bouncy, but then after 2 or 3 songs, I'm like,
that Lillian Lily.
All right, the end of the song here.
Let Lillian Lily roll on. Just play this whole studio in the background.
All right, in the way background.
Yeah, well, then it's gospel hour. We'll tell them we played gospel.
Yeah, that's right, we did. We fulfilled our mission.
You're listening to Gospel All Night. And it's 1 o'clock.
Yes,
and you're listening to WGBB Freeport.
3:13 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Goodman and I at WGBB Radio Studio. Happy to be finishing this long shift that started with
to make your acquaintance.
Started with Dave's Gone By long ago.
Yeah, it started with the Little Big Time, longer ago.
Yeah, that's right. The Big Time, then the Little Big Time, then Dave's Gone By, then whatever this has been, gospel. Well, we did play some gospel. We did indeed, with Jeff and myself here on WGBB. It's been fun. I hope we get to do this again, honestly.
So, Ace, we hope you're feeling okay.
Yeah, right.
And everyone else who didn't show up, mighty thanks.
Yeah, right. This was cool. Thank you again to my wife Joyce, to Joe Salzone for sticking around for a while as part of the
for
fun.
an hour and a half, big deal.
Yeah,
Joe
right.
Salzone.
Thank you to Paul Tracey. Thank you also upcoming, reminding people that next week on Dave's Gone By, Rabbi Saul Solomon, the one and only interviewing. She's going to be appearing at Feinstein, so go see her and go listen to her next week on Dave's Gone By.
We will be
remember, if you're looking for her website, it's tovafeldschuh.com, and Feldschuh is spelled Felds, huh? That's how you know that there's no C's in there anywhere. It's just Felds, huh? We'll be back next Sunday, March 9th.
I may not be back because this all started when I started saying, we have to go to the
You're never going to let me get off the air tonight. Showcase. You're just never going to let me.
No,
We'll be back. This is my ending. This is my thing here. We'll be back next Sunday night, March 9th, 2008, with the 263rd episode of Dave's Gone By. So until then, don't miss your days going by. This is Dave Lefkowitz.
And Jeff Goodman.
Wishing you good night.
It's 3:15 in the a.m.
Have some Mabira, my dear. That's a Paul Tracey reference. You'll get it next week.
Okay, and done. Bye. And the audience erupts into applause.
Oh, that was kind of cool. That was kind of neat. Every other song here is Come Reprise.
What?
Well, there's Come Let Us Adore. Come Ye This Come. There's a song on here. This is Dr. Sheila L. Johnson and Young People for Christ. With the album Resurrection, there's a song, as I said, there's Come Let Us Adore, and Come Ye Disconsolate, and then track 10 is a song just called Come.
Come again.
I want to hear Dr. Sheila L. Johnson come.
Dave cracks himself up sometimes. I can't believe it. He's absolutely almost on the floor with laughter. He's like turning beet red. He thinks his jokes are so funny.
Well, I think we all want to hear her come with this song.
Well, especially Mr. Sheila Johnson would like to hear.
There you go.
What kind of knob? Please call in at 631-888-8811.
I guess he was talking to Mary at the time.
Was anything more than 5 minutes?
And if Jesus hasn't come after 4 hours, see a doctor.
He maintains the erection.
Well, he maintained it for a day and a half, and then they took him down and put him behind the rock.
If your crucifixion lasts for more than 4 hours... You have to go see Alice.
Well, I have to say, it's a nice slow come.
It's a vibrator.
Oh, well, there you go.
We have to be careful. These are young people singing here.
Middle-aged.
No, but she's with the young people choir.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess she's teaching them come.
Oh Lord, hear my cry. I hear you calling, calling,
Come! Sing along with me now. Everybody sing the chorus now. Everybody, come! 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 Everybody come!
Hey, they were mounting something, too.
The big climax is about to happen. Here we go. Come. Come! Come!
I hear him calling.
Come! Come, everyone! Oh yeah! Oh my God! Oh my God! Come! Come! Come!
I hear him calling, 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 calling.
Well, I guess they came.
I need a smoke.
Oh, Lordy.